The following is an exclusive high-definition presentation of the UFL on HDNet.
I think we just have a good group of guys. We get along well, we work well together, and from there we've just been able to go out and execute.
They didn't really stop us, we stopped ourselves. So again, it's come in, not make mistakes, and I think you'll see a lot more points from our offense.
Beautiful evening here in the Tampa Bay area and here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. We get ready for United Football League action on HDNet. The undefeated Florida Tuskers hosting the Las Vegas Locomotives. The Locos derailed the last time these teams met. They're trying to get back on the winning track tonight in a place that's going to be tough, we think, because Florida right now clearly the best team in the UFL. And welcome, everyone, to the pregame show here on HDNet. Kenny Rice along with Paul McGuire. Glad that you could be with us about 30 minutes away from kickoff. These two teams almost from the get-go, Paul, that first week established themselves as the two teams to watch in this league.
They are the two teams to watch, and Florida is, without a doubt, right now the best team in the league. But I'll tell you, if Las Vegas needs a chance to win this ball game, what they really have to do is solve the problems that Florida presents them on defense. If they can't do that, remember, in the first half of that first game, they sacked Lossman 6 times in the first half.
J.P. Lossman, well, he got a first-hand look at that defensive front and the linebackers. We're going to talk more about that a little later. We'll look at those highlights. First off, let's check in on the sideline. As always, Ron Kruk and Natalie Taylor are there with us. Ron, how are things looking for Las Vegas coming here?
Well, Kenny, it's rare in football to not only have the opportunity to avenge a loss, but to do so in back-to-back games. But that's the case tonight. Vegas is coming off their bye week, so they've had 16 days to think about that first meeting with Florida, in which they went down to the Tuskers 29-15. During that off time, the Locos got healthy, but also worked very hard to get this offense in sync, because in speaking with the players yesterday, they believe they stopped themselves in that first meeting. For more on the Tuskers, we go across the field and Natalie Taylor. Nat?
Hey, thanks, Ron. And I'm not just on the sidelines, I'm above them. You know, Tropicana Field started open in 1990. And while it's the home to the Tampa Bay Rays, it has hosted more than 16 different sporting events here. And tonight, it's home to the UFL, first indoor game. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a great view. I think I'm the first UFL reporter to be on the cart camera. Now, I think there may be a guy up in the booth that has an idea of what this view's like. I don't know, Paul, what do you think?
Natalie, I'm going to tell you what, that is the greatest view in the house. I'm telling you, I did a whole lot of that in college football, and you're in the right spot, lady.
But you're not leaving us.
No,
you're staying right here.
Staying right here.
You're staying right here because we come into this game. Thanks, Natalie. We'll be checking back. I guess she's going mobile tonight throughout this evening. But, you know, looking at mobility, you look at Florida in the standings. They have it on offense. They have it on defense. That's why they're the perfect 3-0. California, huge win at New York. We'll show you that later. That was last night. So they have 2 wins already. You see Vegas coming in after the bye week, 1-1.
Well, you know, and you look at this, Vegas, when you say there's a must-win, there's only 7 games in the entire season, folks. So you cannot go down 3 games to a team, not this late in the season. We're in the middle of the season.
Let's go back to the first time these teams met. Here we go, October 14th. And this is the way it all started for Florida. Bollinger was incredible. Brooks Bollinger completed 11 straight at one point. He had Frank Murphy for the touchdown. He had Chad Gesner for a touchdown. Gesner out for the season. More on that later. He has a shoulder injury. And this was the breakout game for Tate Biddle. 7 catches, over 100 yards, hauls us in for a touchdown. It was 22-0 late in the third quarter, and the route was on for Florida, doing it all on offense and defense, Paul.
Well, the problem, too, was for Las Vegas on their offensive side. J.P. Lossman, you're going to see 2 sacks. This guy was sacked 6 times in the first half of this ball game. Then finally, Jim Fossil, the head coach, said, get together. Look at you can see the veins in this guy's neck. He got mad at him, and then Dorsey blocks a sovereign punt. This gets them started. You got to understand, this is their first scores. Now, Lossman hits Sammy Parker for a touchdown, and then he turns around again, and he's going to hit Sammy Parker for another touchdown. But it really was they just didn't have enough time to come back. And that's one of the things that we're seeing is that in the second half, these teams are falling apart.
And you saw over 1,400 yards put up. The passing game, tremendous. Over 300 yards in that game for Bollinger and company as they build up the early lead and hold off the Locos. It's kind of a pattern now for Las Vegas. They fell behind in a victory, and they fell behind in a loss. So they've been making these great second-half runs.
Yeah, no, the one thing talking to Coach Fossil yesterday is that we cannot be concerned about the other team. We have to be concerned about our football team and what we do.
Jim Haslett was concerned with what he was going to do right off the start of this season. He said, I'm going out and get veteran players. You want to know why they're 3-0? Look at three guys, for example, on offense.
Well, think about the National Football League, folks, and you watch it too, and you sit there and say, well, how many teams have two outstanding running backs? Well, these guys do. Florida does. They got Bell and Pittman. Besides, their offensive linemen. You mentioned it, that there are, out of the 5 offensive linemen, 4 of them started in the National Football League, and Petiti is one of those guys.
And Petiti had that Achilles injury. They thought, could he come back? Wow, has he ever come back? Oh, and they also have a pretty nice defense as well.
Now, Desher Jackson on the far right, he's not going to play tonight. But you take a look at the linebackers, Culberson and Thurman, and there's a McGarrigle. I'm going to tell you, this guy is their leading tackler. They have probably the best 3 linebackers in all of the UFL. And then Fakir Brown is a guy that played for Haslett. Haslett said to us, he said, look, when this thing started, I'm going out and get players that I know that can play. I'm not going out and get a bunch of college players. This is a new league. I want to make an impression with this team, and they love what they're doing.
And what an impression they have made. Clearly the team to beat, and it's no secret on the Las Vegas sideline. They know that very well coming in here to play them tonight in St. Petersburg. Now with more on this Florida juggernaut, let's check in again with Natalie.
Well, Kenny Paul, you gave just plenty of reasons why Florida's dominating, but yesterday we sat down with Coach Haslett to find out what he attributes this string of success to, and more importantly, what is it going to take for it to continue?
Our goal was, when we said going into the league, the first thing I said to the coaches was, well, it's not going to be the scheme that wins in this league, it's going to be who has the best players. We wanted to go out and get some guys that were out of the NFL for whatever reason, not because of injury, because maybe something happened in a personal life, maybe somebody was suspended that's trying to get back in, or somebody that was just, wanted to have another opportunity to play. So we weren't looking for, per se, young guys just to kind of develop them, to bring them along, but guys that we thought could play in a National Football League if they had a second opportunity.
Well, one of the players, obviously, that has a lot of buzz, Brooks, you were talking earlier, did he exceed your expectations, or you expected this from him?
I just think Brooks is a good quarterback. He's a great leader. He's got a quick release. The players like being around him. And it doesn't make a difference what level it is, whether it's the National Football League, UFL, college. I mean, the guy has all those type of things that you like to have as a head coach.
You mentioned your strong roster. You guys have found the way to start out strong, on top right now. What is it going to continue to go throughout the rest of the season and stay up there?
Well, I think it's up to the players, and they understand that I think people will be disappointed if we don't run the table. I think we got a good football team that we can do it. Now, we'll have some challenges along the way, but our guys are excited about playing. They have fun together. They know that there's opportunities for them ahead, and you talk to the guys that they enjoy being around one another. They enjoy playing. They like the schemes. They like the coaches, and if you could take this kind of atmosphere that you're having here and take it to another level, I think that's the ideal situation.
He talked about the atmosphere, and when we talked to Jim a couple of days ago, he was talking a lot about that atmosphere. There is obviously the professionalism, but there's also kind of a college feeling. These guys stay in the same area to train, almost a dorm-like existence. Real nice hotel, by the way, they got them put up, and they really enjoy it.
But you got to understand about this guy, Jim Haslett. This guy was a great player in the National Football League, so he has been where these guys want to go, and he knows what it's going to take.
They've got great camaraderie. Obviously, they're making it happen on the field. And talk about the rich getting richer. A bad break for them when Gessner injures his shoulder, one of their top receivers. Chaz Gessner, we saw him catch a touchdown earlier against Las Vegas. Here's another look at that. He has the shoulder injury. They learned that he is going now to be out for the season. So what do? what would anybody else do at this time? And we've seen some guys make some moves. You go out and you get an NFL veteran, of course.
Well, this guy's only played 5 years for Carolina. And all of a sudden, here he is on Jim Haslett's offense. And we asked him, we said, Jim, will he play? He said some, but he plays everybody. And this guy, you talk about, it's not a find. He knew about it. He wanted to draft him at New Orleans, and he couldn't get him because, well, he waited 5 years. He's got him.
So add to that NFL experience with Kerry Colbert coming over tonight to make his debut with the Tuskers. Now let's check on the sideline with Ron, and Las Vegas also having a former NFL Coach of the Year.
Well, guys, we wouldn't be watching quarterback J.P. Lossman tonight or in the UFL if it wasn't for Jim Fossil. Now, Fossil comes in, and this is a guy, of course, who has tutored some of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the position, including John Elway, Boomer Esiason, and Phil Simms. At the beginning of the year, J.P. Lossman and his agent decided playing for Jim Fossil here in the UFL was the best thing he could do for his career. Head coach of the Las Vegas Locos, Jim Fossil speaks about his current quarterback project and what it's going to take to beat the undefeated Florida Tuskers.
He's got tremendous talent, okay? And he's a guy that has great desire to be good. I mean, he will work at it as hard as anybody. If anything, I just tell him, you got to relax and play the game. Not everything is the most dramatic play you'll ever make in your life. And he's learning how to relax a little bit because he's got all the tools. I mean, he's smart, he's got a strong arm, he's a great athlete, he loves the game. He's got all the ingredients that all those other quarterbacks I've been fortunate enough to work with.
Coach, let's talk about the first time you played Florida. Talk about what was the struggles of the offense in that first game.
Well, we didn't take advantage. In a game, every team is going to give the other team some opportunities to move the football, to make a play. And when we were presented those opportunities, we could make the play. But our team showed character to come back in the second half. And that's something, with where we started with this team, you don't have your team very long before you start games. And you can build a lot of team unity and relying upon one another and team character to fight through tough times. We haven't had that opportunity, so I didn't know how this team would react, and they reacted very well.
What's going to be the key to the Locos getting a victory?
Well, I think offensively, we're going to have to protect JP better than we did in the first game. We didn't protect him at all. We got to run the football better. Defensively, we got to get to Brooks Bollinger. It always comes down to the same things. Who can get after whose quarterback is very disruptive. I don't know of a quarterback ever that can throw the ball with a lot of pressure on him. I think, again, it's going to come down to protecting the quarterback, protecting the ball, not the turnovers. And if they beat us, they've got to play better than us. We cannot just not play up to our standard. What I want us to do is play up to our level of competency. And then if we can't beat them, we can't beat them. But I think that it'll be a good football game. It's going to be a great football game.
When we talked to Jim yesterday, he was very emphatic about it's on us. Forget, we got to do our thing. If we do our thing, we'll be okay.
And he said, J.P. Lossman, relax. When you see the opportunity come, take it. Don't panic.
Las Vegas knows what's at stake. It's a big game for them, obviously, 1-1 against the undefeated Florida Tuskers, and a team that won for the second time last night. Coming up, we'll have highlights of the California-New York game here on HDNet.
Welcome back to the UFL on HDNet.
Back in St. Petersburg, a beautiful day, 86 degrees, 63% humidity. It's record kind of temperatures for this late in October. And inside here at Tropicana Field, it's perfect. 72, the wind, calm. The forecast is perfect, just like the season so far for the homestanding Florida Tuskers as they get ready to play the Las Vegas Locos coming up in just about 15 minutes here on HDNet. And welcome back inside. It is rather nice compared to outside today. Got a little humid out there.
Well, he couldn't walk around with a jacket on, and I understand, our producer, Daryl, has been in shorts for almost a month now.
Always, yeah. He loves it down here, and he still is in shorts as he sits in the air-conditioned truck. And we tell you now about something taking place last night at Giant Stadium. This was a big showdown. The New York Sentinels finally playing a home game, and they're taking on the California Redwoods. And the Redwoods have one John David Washington, son of Academy Award-winning Denzel Washington.
And they also have one Corey Ross, who leads the UFL in rushing. This guy is not only is he a great runner, but an outstanding pass receiver and running with the ball afterwards. You're going to see Corey Ross now for the touchdown. Watch the moves he makes. The guy is an outstanding player. And then they finish it up. They take up where they left off last week. You're going to see Shane Boyd go in for a touchdown on a run, and that's the quarterback, and they're up in this ball game.
California in control, 17-6, the score at halftime. Now we go to the third quarter. Quinn Gray bringing the Sentinels back. One of the new players on the team. Hankton hauls this one in, 30-yard gain. And then Gray, 5 yards touchdown, Christian Hopkins. It's 17-13, just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. And yes, Gray saying, let's get back in this. They certainly were. Late in the fourth quarter, 2013, California leading, just over 3 minutes to go. 2 big fourth down plays would come up. The first one here, Gray sacked by Earl Cochran. Then, after a switch of downs, 1:22 to go in the game. Fourth down, and again going down is Gray. Mike Mabry gets the sack. Final score, New York comes up short. 2013 to California in their home opener. You see the numbers, and some nice numbers put up by California again, over 300 yards total, Paul.
You know, one of the things that we've seen so far in this young football season is the fact that in the second half is when most of these teams lose a little bit of control.
California now picking up their second win. New York remaining winless. And coming up next week, you can check out the action on Versus, the Locos taking on the Sentinels. And then November 14th, we'll be back in California. This could be a huge showdown between Las Vegas and California. 9 p.m. Eastern kickoff here on HDNet. And so, I mean, the offense puts it up, and they've been very impressive, and they got a guy that knows a lot about offense running the show.
Yeah, Jay Gruden is a guy that I just think that is so smart. He played arena football a lot. He was very good at that. He also coached, then he played again. But Jay Gruden knows offenses.
So well that he has the best offense right now in the UFL, and Ron Kruk caught up with him to talk about so far and looking ahead.
Well, I think the talent level is a lot better than most people anticipated, and the level of play has been solid, and the amount of mistakes have been limited despite only having a couple weeks with everybody on the roster. You know, training camp only had 2.5 weeks, and to come out a couple weeks later and perform like they performed and fly around the field like they did is a tribute to them as players and as coaches. I think we try to get them in the right situation to allow them to make plays and put themselves on tape for the NFL teams.
Your brother John was on the sidelines last weekend. What were his thoughts about the UFL?
He understands there's a lot of good players. He coached a lot of them. You know, we have 8 or 9 guys that have come through Tampa Bay's doors in training camp and been on their roster. You know, I've been in the Arena League for so long, and I've been in NFL Europe, and now I'm in the UFL, and I was in the NFL, obviously with my brother, and the talent level from the bottom 15 to the guys who don't make it are just this close. And sometimes the guys who make it aren't as good as the guys who don't make it, for whatever reason it might be. Guys are very close, and when you do get cut, it's very important to stay active. And this league provides that avenue for players to stay active and to show teams and GMs that they are capable of playing.
Very good. Let them see the throw on the sticks. Let them see the throws on the sticks. Give me
Are you having fun?
Love it. This is a great time. You know, we got a great group of guys and great coaching staff. Coach Hazlitt makes this a very enjoyable work atmosphere, and the players. When you come in and the players are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and eager to learn, it makes it fun. And then when you go out to practice and they're flying around and they're complaining a little bit about the heat and the shoulder pads and all that stuff, but for the most part, they've been a lot of fun to work with. And obviously, Coach Hazlitt makes the environment very compatible for everybody.
Makes it nice, too, to have speed like Biddle and Maxwell. And, oh, by the way, you got Tatum, Bell, and Pittman in your backfield.
Yeah, you know, the other thing that's nice about it, and there's no bones about this, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are hoping that there's some of their players, a lot of their players, go back to the National Football League. This may be their last opportunity. The coaches, no false things going on here. They just said, hey, we're not competing. We'd like to see if we can help them.
And as they all say, you know, it's game to game. We got to do well. We want people to watch us right here on HDNet. And it is Florida trying to stay unbeaten, hosting Las Vegas as we get closer to kickoff. About 7 minutes away from kickoff on your left, J.P. Lossman, the quarterback of Las Vegas. Brooks Bollinger is perfect right now, helming the Florida Tuskers as they get ready for their second showdown. We talked about it earlier. Bollinger had a streak where he hit 11 straight. Lossman sacked 6 times in the first half in that first meeting. We'll see how everybody gets everything turned around if they do tonight.
Well, you look at those two quarterbacks. They're on the two best football teams. Now, one of them has 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. The other has 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. They have outstanding coaching. Bollinger has Gruden to help him, to work with him in the offense. And the nice part about J.P. Lossman, he's got Fossil, who has brought on a lot of quarterbacks. So he has the special attention for the head coach. And Jim Fossil told us yesterday that, hey, look, I don't want a bunch of people talking to my quarterback. I want to talk to him. And as we know, as Ron did before, he told you that Lossman would not be here if it weren't for Fossil.
Right now, the Florida players seem to think they wouldn't be here if it weren't for their togetherness, and they had that focus coming in. We want to impress NFL scouts. Yeah, we want people to watch us. We want to know that we're still viable, and they talked about being undefeated right now coming into this game.
Well, I think it starts at the top with the coaches and Coach Hazlitt, and I know that's the reason a lot of us are here. And I think, you know, he treats us like professionals, and I think it starts with that. And I think we just have a good group of guys. We get along well, we work well together, and from there we've just been able to go out and execute.
We started a couple games slow at times, but once we get rolling in the games, I think this defense really comes together, and we got a lot of guys that have played together in the past, and we know the system together, and I think we're just playing well right now.
Obviously, this is my first game this week, but I could tell the way they've been practicing and the way they've been working hard together, and I can just tell from the game. I mean, they've been playing well, and you know that's how you win football games at the end of the day.
Continue to execute. You know, I think that's the biggest thing is football takes all 11 guys on the field. You know, I think it's the ultimate team sport, and any complacency or plays off or anything like that can kill you. So it's just going to take us to continue to go out there and execute on every play.
Well, we played Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, and you know, J.P. Lossman's a really good quarterback, and they got a good running backs and a good O-line. So we just have to go out there and come out fast. The last time we played them, we came out a little slow. So I think if we come out fast, we could hopefully put a full game together.
Well, they had a little trouble in the fourth quarter, but wow, they were up so big by that time, it really didn't matter.
Yeah, you know, in this game is so important to both teams, but especially to Vegas. You cannot go down 3 games to this team.
And Vegas says they want not just revenge here, but they want another test against the best. That starts from the quarterback on down.
You want to play against the best every week. And you want to go out there and prove that, you know, you deserve to be in that top spot. And that's all part of competition. And it's actually, we've never been in a situation in my football career where I've been able to play the same team twice in a row. And so this is going to be a great challenge for our team, you know, in general, to see if we can correct the mistakes that we made last week. Because if we make the same mistakes, the same exact result is going to happen.
As you see, last time we played them, we didn't put together a very good performance at all. So we see come back and not make mistakes. I mean, anybody who watches film sees that, you know, they didn't really stop us. We stopped ourselves. So again, it's come in, not make mistakes, and I think you'll see a lot more points from our offense this time.
It's very important for us as a team to get started early. In the first 2 games, we pretty much had late starts, kind of let the other team get a jump on us and kind of try to push back from behind. And last week just wasn't. We weren't able to get it started in time. We got 2 late touchdowns and a punt block. But, I mean, we just got to translate that to the beginning of the game. I think we'll be in good shape.
We feel like we've got something to prove every day. They've got a lot of big names on the team, a lot of talented guys, but we feel that we're just as talented and we match up pretty good. Just a matter of tackling well, covering well, and getting to the quarterback. And if we can do those things, we can be successful.
Well, they have been successful. Florida, Las Vegas, I like what Teddy Lehman said. We know who Florida has. We know how good they are.
Yeah, and they know what they have to do also.
And we know what's coming up. The kickoff. Stay with us on HDNet.
following is an exclusive high-definition presentation of the UFL on HDNet.
I think we just have a good group of guys. We get along well, we work well together, and from there we've just been able to go out and execute.
They didn't really stop us, we stopped ourselves. So again, it's come in, not make mistakes, and I think you'll see a lot more points from our offense.
Welcome to the Tampa Bay area, and here in St. Petersburg, Florida at Tropicana Field, the best team in the UFL, the undefeated Florida Tuskers at home against the Las Vegas Locos. You're watching the UFL on HDNet. Good evening, everyone. Kenny Rice and Paul McGuire, glad that you could be with us. We are seeing the best two teams in the league match up again. It's a rematch. They met in the desert, and that was a game controlled early by Florida. They came away with the win.
Okay, now you got the two best quarterbacks in the league, okay, and they really are. And Bollinger here's a guy that's 9 touchdowns, only 1 interception. You got J.P. Lossman, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. But the most important thing that you need to concentrate on tonight is, and we're going to show you a little bit of it, are the offensive lines. They are very good.
Florida right now at 3-0. California with the win, a big win last night at New York, 2-2. Las Vegas 1-1. They've had a long time to think about this rematch after having a bye week. And as Paul told you, the top 2 quarterbacks in the league on display. Brooks Bollinger has been sensational. He had 1 streak of 11 straight completions in the win against Vegas. J.P. Lossman's been waiting for this game. He was sacked 6 times by the Florida defense.
And J.P. Lossman told us yesterday, he said, the most important thing that I have to do, that's something I didn't do in the National Football League when I was up with the Buffalo Bills as their #1 draft choice. He said, I just had a tough time learning how to relax. And the reason he's in the UFL is because of Jim Fossil. He wouldn't have gone anywhere else except with this team. And he said, I am learning how to relax, read defenses, and control my emotions.
Everything has been going right for Florida. Brooks Bollinger has been in total control. Can he continue with that hot hand tonight? We go down to the sideline now. Ron Kruk and Natalie Taylor joining us as always. And Ron, we're talking about some really outstanding quarterbacks and some offense that we expect to see tonight, but there's something else I think is going to happen, huh?
Well, sure, Kenny. We do have 2 former NFL quarterbacks doing battle here tonight. But Vegas has some NFL veterans on defense as well that are ready to slow down that potent Florida attack. Linebacker Gary Stills is a 10-year NFL veteran, and in 2003 went to the Pro Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. And safety Tony Parrish, he spent 9 seasons in the NFL with the Bears, 49ers, and the Cowboys. His best year, 2003 as well, when he picked off 9 passes. These are 2 defensive studs that bring some much-needed veteran leadership to this defense. All right, let's go across the field to the Florida sideline and Natalie Taylor. Nat?
Okay, you guys always are wanting to talk about the quarterbacks. Doing a great job, especially Brooks Bollinger for Florida, but I want to give some love to the linemen here. They're the ones who are really working hard, protecting their quarterbacks and getting things done. That's one of the big reasons that the offense is lighting up this league. Guys, back up to you.
All right. Thanks. I got to tell you, we would actually look fairly small next to those guys. All the line over 300 pounds across the board for this Florida team.
I think Juan could have put Natalie in his pocket. I mean, Natalie, if you ever need a bodyguard, just drag that guy around with you.
I'm glad he didn't turn around quickly.
Oh, man.
And that's what also some of the defenders have said this year, trying to crack through that offensive line of Florida. The Tuskers are undefeated, playing their first home game here in the Tampa Bay area. It's a rematch with the Las Vegas Locos, and we'll have the kickoff live coming up on HDNet.
Welcome back to the UFL on HDNet.
Here inside Tropicana Field, home to the Tampa Bay Rays, home now also to the Florida Tuskers, as we look at 2 men who have been NFL Coaches of the Year. Jim Fossil when he was with the Giants, Jim Haslett when he's with the Saints. And they are two guys that got the attention of a lot of people when they started talking about the United Football League. The coaches became the stars. And you throw in Dennis Green as well at California.
Well, you're going to look at the National Football League that they've already named 4 or 5 coaches that may not be there next year. Well, there's going to be some guys right here, 2 guys right there that they're going to take a hard look at. The interesting thing is Jim Haslett is the head coach of Florida, but he's also the defensive coordinator, which is really kind of neat because he knows defense. And then Jim Fossil, who is the head coach of Las Vegas, but his job really is not all over offensive coordinator, but his job is to bring J.P. Lossman around.
Well, he's doing it, he feels, and so does Lossman since that last game. We'll see how it plays out as you look at Josh Kobe, who is back to receive the kick. Las Vegas winning the coin toss. They want to come on offense first, and Matt Bryant, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, is teeing it up to kick it off. Florida perfect. Remember, they jumped out to that big lead, 22-0, en route to the 29-15 victory over Las Vegas in the first meeting between these two teams. And we're underway. The dangerous Scobie moves up and takes it at his 5. To the 20, a little bit of a gap, and he gets close to the 25. And Michael Grant moves in to make the tackle, and now Las Vegas will go on the attack after that 19-yard kickoff return. Here are the numbers on J.P. Lossman, and as Paul mentioned earlier, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception after 2 games. And an offensive line that will be tested tonight, as they were by the Florida defense in the first half. They're trying to get that out of their system. Those 6 sacks allowed in the first half. Marcel Shipp lines up in the backfield. E.J. Barthel is the linebacker. And they'll go on the ground to establish it, and right up the middle is Shipp, and he makes a nice run to pick up some good yards. The 3rd leading rusher in the league, ripping off 15 before Willie Andrews moves in for the tackle.
Boy, don't you like where they're going to attack right off the bat? Take a look at they go right up the middle. What happens is the left guard Frank Davis and Boone, the center, got tangled up, and the hole was still there anyway.
Marcel Shipp out of the University of Massachusetts has been making a name for himself here in the league. Ball out to the 38. And again, they'll try with Shipp, but not much there. He is met and wrapped up by McKinley Boykin right at the line of scrimmage. As we take a look at the offense, with Capizzi, Davis, Boone, Bibla played 3 years with the Falcons, and Parkett was an all-NFL Europe selection. Of course, Lossman is the quarterback. Shipp is the top runner. Between Parker and Thurman, they have 12 catches. Parker 2 touchdowns. And Adam Bergen leads the team in total yardage per catch this year. 2nd and 9. Lossman to the air for the first time. Going down the sideline, and the completion, tiptoeing, is David Kirkus making the grab. A pickup of 10 and a first down.
One of the things that Fossil told us about Lossman is just be sure of where the guys are going. Read the defense. Take a look to the outside. He looks to the outside. There's Thurman. It's wide open. You know, it's almost, when Fossil said it's, you know, it's just like pitch and catch. Just relax. Enjoy the game. Throw the ball.
Up to the 48. And Kirk is just one of the 4 or 5 good receivers Las Vegas has. They'll try to go on the ground, and nothing. They lose yardage for the first time, and everyone's there to wrap up Shipp, including Rotten getting in. And Darian Scott, as we set the defense. We talked about Scott just getting in there. Rotten, at times he can look great. Boykin's already made a big tackle along with Savage. There is McGarrigle, leads the league in tackles. Thurman coming off his best game of the season, and the ever dangerous Culberson. The backs, 4 secondary interceptions between those, and starting tonight is Carter in place of the injured Jackson. We have a personal foul in the meantime with 12:50 to go.
Something you just, you know, when you're a struggling team, and Las Vegas is struggling at this moment, you just can't make stupid mistakes.
Backed up, they'll go to the air once again, and for the second time there's completion. That's to Adam Bergen. Bergen with 9 catches on the season. He has been one of the go-to guys. And there's the guy we talked about, Tim McCarrigal, who leads the league in tackles moving in.
Well, and you look at that play and you think, well, all right, why are you throwing the ball to Bergen? He's only like a 3-yard pattern. But you don't have to get all of this yardage back at one time. Be a little patient. Give yourself some operating room. Now you're at 3rd down and 8, where you were at 3rd down and about 12. So just be patient, take your time, and let other people win the game for you.
D.D. Dorsey now in the backfield as well. He is a threat with 9 catches. He's been the safety valve for Lossman. Lossman, good protection, looking, gunning over the middle, and he has his man, Andre Thurman, making the catch.
Now this ball is actually thrown behind Andre Thurman. Andre Thurman makes an outstanding adjustment with his arms and his eyes. Andre Thurman, watch this, it's over the middle. Look where the ball is thrown. It's behind Andre Thurman. He goes back, makes the catch, knows he's going to get hit, and gets the first down. No, he doesn't get the first down. I'm sorry.
They pick up 15. They needed 19, so on 4th and 4, they will kick it away. Danny Bauer to boot it. Fair catch called and taken by Willie Andrews at the 15. So now Brooks Bollinger and Florida will get their chance on offense. When we come back, still no score. So Brooks Bollinger and Florida go on offense for the first time. The high-powered offense of the Tuskers. The numbers on Bollinger, the former New York Jet who was traded to the Vikings, where he was reunited with his old offensive coordinator at Wisconsin, Brad Childress, briefly. And he's really been rejuvenated, and it shows in his numbers as they start 1st and 10 at their own 15. Tatum Bell lines up in the backfield, and Bell will carry. And Bell, the 2nd leading rusher in the league, picks up 3 as we take a look at Ballard making the tackle. Here is that veteran line we talked about with Petiti and Davis. Lucas now has moved in because of injury. Alexander is the small fry of the bunch at only 298 pounds. And then you see Bell. Pittman will also play a lot. Maxwell has been strong. Biddle has been an outstanding receiver, and Wiggins is the tight end on 2nd and 6. And again on the ground, and Bell gets outside. Tripped up and gets about 3 or so, and it was Joe Porter coming up from the corner to make the tackle around the ankles as we set the defense with Awasam and Bryant, each with a sack. Kalaji has experience with the Giants, San Francisco and Arizona, and Henderson on that front line. Look at the linebackers. Stills, a former Pro Bowler, Lehman, a former starter, and Moore, of course, with the 49ers. And Tony Parrish had that great year with the Niners, along with Porter, Turnbull, and Dada in the backfield on 3rd and 3. Bollinger to the air. He has the first down to about the 29. Wiggins, the tight end, gets it. Ball is loose, and it looks like it's picked up by Vegas. It is. What a break for Las Vegas very early as Turnbull comes in. The question, was that a catch? What they're discussing now.
And again, also the question is, was his knee down? And the officials are right there. They were very emphatic that it was a first down for Vegas. All right, here comes a play. Just take a look. Wiggins is there. Is his knee down? No, that ball is coming out because his knee is on a Las Vegas player, who is Porter. So he was never on the ground.
A huge turnover early on, something Florida rarely does. And that was big. Brandon Moore right in there along with Porter to come away with the ball, and Las Vegas on that fumble takes over at the Florida 27.
But the Fossils say we don't have to worry about what they're doing. We have to worry about what we're doing. And what they just did is take the ball away.
Whistle before the snap.
Prior snap, false start. Offensive line, 5 yards, remains first down.
You know, Jim Fossil didn't like that.
This will drive a coach absolutely nuts. You just get the ball back. You want to make an impact against the defense. You go out on the field and your offense moves.
really good field position still, but now it goes to 1st and 15 at the 32 of Florida. Dede Dorsey in the backfield. Again, he's a great receiving threat out of that backfield, has been the top receiver for Lossman. Lossman with protection, looks over, and now he'll run inside the 25, looking to get out of bounds, and he does. Nice little dancing there by J.P. Lossman. He learned a lot from the NFL days.
Okay, one thing he didn't learn, and that's to get down. Get down. J.P. Lossman looks downfield. This is patience. Watch. He has no one to throw the ball to. Now, here's the situation right here where you look like you're going to – McGarrigle's out there, number 59. I don't want him hitting me, and I get down. Just get down. Get as much as you can, and let the rest of the offense do it for you.
Andrews finally forcing him out. Lossman picking up 10 yards. It is 2nd and 5. At the 22, Dorsey remains in the backfield, and he'll get the carry. Dorsey inside the 20 has the first down. Inside the 15 before stepping out of bounds. Nice run by Dede Dorsey.
You know, you just look at the continuous effort of Dede Dorsey. Watch this. Now, here's a guy, he's hitting a hole. 2 guys hit him. Now he's getting tackled again by Andrews. He breaks that tackle. He's still on his feet. He's out of bounds. But the continuous motion, the feet moving all the time, never slowing down.
And Dorsey has been their double threat. The guy that can catch it, the guy who's the second leading rusher on the team. He picked up 8 on that carry. It's 1st and 10. The Locos trying to take advantage of a recovered fumble. Ship comes back for Vegas. Play action. Lossman looking, pumping, under pressure. Now he'll tuck it in and run and wisely go down as he's converged upon. And Lossman getting positive yards.
Boy, you gotta, I mean, Fossil's gotta like what he sees now. Here's Lossman. Remember, in the game that they played, the first time they played, he was sacked 6 times in the very first half of the ball game. Now, the pressure's on him. He's tucking the ball away. Get what you can, which really wasn't much. He got 2 yards on the play, but that, you know, he's not taking the losses.
It's 2nd and 7. And Lossman said positive yards. Think positive yards. That's what he's been able to do twice now with his feet. Ball at the 11. Back, good protection, throwing, intercepted. Intercepted by Florida. Another turnover, a huge pick. It's Carter. Carter down the sideline. Carter with room. One man. Can he get around? Carter gets to the 18. Holy cow, what a play by Jerome Carter. His 2nd interception of the season. He returns it back 84 yards.
And this is all on Lossman. We were talking about how comfortable he felt in the pocket, how he's making the right decisions. He waited too long to throw this ball. And you're throwing the ball in the middle of the field where everybody gets to. Watch this. Look how late this ball is. And there's Carter, just waits up. That wasn't his man. He waits. He's on the left-hand side. Watch Carter come in and just take the ball away. He's just playing center field. That's something that J.P. Lossman has to read. And that's why I say this whole interception's on him. Then Carter brings the ball back to the 20.
Carter starting in place tonight of the injured Dexter Jackson with the huge play. Can Florida do something on that turnover now with great field position in Vegas territory? They go right up the middle to Tatum Bell for maybe a couple of yards on first down. Carter with his 2nd interception. This secondary has 5 interceptions total this season. And you take a look at the offensive power of the Tuskers, what they've been able to do. They're first in just about everything. You know, the time of possession, what does it really matter when you're scoring points? And they can score at a rapid clip. Can they take advantage of this now on 2nd and 10 at the 19 of Vegas? Pittman now in the backfield. Michael Pittman in.
He's open. He's open.
Bollinger throwing in the corner, and it's intercepted. A turnover, and another turnover. Absolutely amazing. Trey Young, just in the lineup, picks that off. Turnovers galore, a fumble, and 2 interceptions. It is 0-0 between Vegas and Florida, the 2 best teams in the league, not looking like it at the moment. Well, right now, Florida has made 2 turnovers in 5 plays, and here's the last one.
Well, take a look at right here. Here comes Pittman out of the backfield. Here's Tony Young. Hold it right here. Look where Pittman is, this man here. He is now beyond, I can't clear this thing, but he's now beyond the quarterback. Now watch, this is all on Bollinger. This ball is thrown way too late and lets Young have a chance to come back on the ball. Pittman's got a touchdown. He walks in.
Instead, Trey Young picking up his first interception. And when last we saw J.P. Lossman, he was being intercepted in the end zone by Jerome Carter. Marcel Shipp now as Vegas goes at their own 7. And in the backfield, nowhere to go for Shipp. Bledsoe among those getting in, and of course, McGarrigle.
You know what, just for the heck of it, just throw McGarrigle's name in when it goes near, like the middle from inside the tackles, because he's going to be part of it anyway.
You'll probably be in the vicinity, won't you?
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing I'm never going to do in this game again, and that's to look at the scoreboard and find out what the down and distance is, because the thing has been wrong. Maybe in baseball you don't go past 11.
Well, you know, I noticed we were in the bottom of the 3rd when I looked a minute ago, so I quit looking. You see some of the stuff on McGarrigle, including the fact he's the NCAA all-time tackle leader when he left Northwestern. Shipp comes back in and tries to find a little bit of positive yards straight up the middle. Maybe he gets out, picks up about 4. And McGarrigle, of course, making the tackle. Let's check in with Ron.
With the man who made the big interception, Trey Young, tell us how that play developed.
It was basically a man-to-man call. Run back tried to wheel out the backfield. They tried to do a pig by the 2. I just tried to run through it, turned around, the ball was there.
Do you regret taking it out of the end zone?
In a way I do, but at the same time, you know, I know our offense can get it done, so let's get it.
Well, you got a much-needed turnover. Thanks. Guys back upstairs.
Yeah, good question, Ron. Spur of the moment, you know, he's just going with the flow, I guess. It's 3rd and 6 back at the 9. Lossman throwing, and he has the first down. Lossman coming up with a needed completion, and he hits D.D. Dorsey. That is the 10th catch for Dorsey, the most on this team.
The biggest mismatch. You got D.D. Dorsey on McGarrigle, number 59, the linebacker. Watch Dorsey, 27. Look at McGarrigle. He is so far behind. This is the perfect pass. Don't try to get it all. Just get pieces. Move the ball. Move the chains.
And Dorsey now has racked up 100 yards catching for this season in 2 games and 1 quarter. That's how valuable he's been as a receiver. And he remains in. On 1st and 10. Lossman play action. Pressure from behind. Ball is stripped, but Vegas keeps it back. And Savage charging through, knocking the ball loose, but Capizzi was able to fall on it and keep it in the hands of the Locos.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you know, you got to be aware of where you are, and there's got to be a little clock in your head. Coming on the backside, look at Savage. He beats the left tackle, who is Capizzi. He beats him, and watch this. Lossman's got to know you don't have that much time. You've got to get that ball out. But at least Capizzi fell on the ball.
Capizzi stayed with the play. He didn't give up. And, yeah, they still keep it. It is 2nd and 17. Ball back to the 10. They'll go on the ground this time and get a couple of those yards back. And it is Dorsey, the carrier. And Odell Thurman making the tackle, and a tackle that cracked.
You know, Odell Thurman it just amazes me. I mean, this guy is really good. He's trying to get reinstated, I guess, back in the National Football League. But Odell Thurman, he had a terrific game last week. This guy is just an outstanding player. And when he hits you, trust me, you're going down.
And remember those years at Georgia, how great he was. They went to the Bengals. It's 3rd and 14. Big play again for Lossman. Drop, pressure, floats it up, it's caught. What a catch on what looked to be a lame duck till Tab Perry plucks it out of the air and gets the first down. And Lossman, he talked, you can't have any more than that with the pressure he's facing.
But he also said, what just hit me? Watch Lossman. You want to see him getting taken out of this thing? Look at this shot. But to stand in there and make this throw, and then the outstanding catch downfield.
Chakwara is putting the pressure on. He sacked Lossman twice in the game out in Vegas. And Lossman instead able to unload 31 yards and pick up the first down going to Perry. Ship in the backfield on first. And the carry goes straight up the middle, close to midfield. Want to take a guess? Yeah, McGarrigle is all around it, and he makes a tackle.
You know, I'll tell you what, as many times as Lossman got sacked in the last game that they played, to stand in there and know that he's going to get hammered up the middle, he has to wait to throw the football. It was just a great throw on his part.
And Lossman has come up on 2 big third down conversions in this drive that started back inside their 10 after the interception. Ship back in the backfield and will sweep around to the left side trying to get close to midfield and can't do so. And among those putting some pressure on was Eric Powell.
You know, the one thing about it, I don't think I would try to make a living running the ball wide on Florida. They have just outstanding speed at the linebacker spot, especially on the outside with Odell Thurman, 52, and number 54, Quentin Culberson.
So once again, third down, 3rd and 5. Ball at the 48 of Las Vegas. Lossman's pulled some magic on these situations, firing this one well incomplete.
You know, here's the throw, and you watch Lossman clap his hands afterwards, and the wide receiver runs a post pattern, and the post pattern is back to the inside. Watch what happens here. Boom, 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 the post pattern back to the inside. That's Thurman, and the ball is so far over his head, Lossman was looking for him to run back to the corner.
He knew, didn't he? Oh. Didn't even have to look. That was well out of everybody's way. So Vegas now will kick it away. Bauer kicking. Andrews waiting. And he's going to let it bounce. Giving chase. Good play by Vegas, perhaps. Is it going to be down? Yeah, right there at the 1. And look at the special teams of Las Vegas, how they come through. Riley was the one that downed that 50-yard punt. We'll see what Florida can do now. Florida coach Jim Haslett is challenging the punt.
The player's feet were in the end zone when he touched the ball. By rule, that is a touchback. The ball will be placed on the 20-yard line. First down.
And it paid off. It was a 50-yard kick by Danny Bauer, and here's Marcus Riley downing the ball at first, called down at the 1.
Now you look at Riley, number 57. He's got the ball covered. Now watch, just look at his legs. Forget about where everything is now. Now he touches the goal line. He is in the end zone with the ball. This is an outstanding call. And I love the fact that the officials don't even hesitate. I mean, they went right in. Here's a flag thrown by Haslett. He saves both of his challenges now. Excellent call.
And they'll start 1st and 10 at the 20. As you see, the man who's been the architect of building this team, mostly with veterans, a few young players that have become stars here, like Tay Biddle, one of the receivers, who comes out to the left. In the backfield is Tatum Bell, along with the fullback Pennick. Bollinger play action. Looking, throwing, and has its completion up to the 40-yard line, and he's going with the tight end, Jermaine Wiggins, who makes his 6th catch of the season, a pickup of 23.
When in doubt, go to your Maniska. You know it's going to be singled up coverage in number 85. Watch Wiggins come across the middle. Now, they don't pick him up until he gets to the 40. That is a safety, Nick Turnbull, number 21, that wasn't even there.
And you see some of the background there on the former Georgia star who played a season in the NFL. 22 seconds to go in this first quarter. And there's a whistle as they flip it out to Bell.
That's one of those throws that you really have to be careful of. Because if that thing is thrown behind, take a look. Is this ball thrown? It's thrown to Bell. If it's thrown behind him,
that is...
But Bell's hands are at the line of scrimmage, and you could see the Bollinger threw the ball down the line of scrimmage.
Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
But if I'm on defense, I'm jumping on that baby.
You think they challenge, huh? Bell goes again over on the right side, and he gets it across the 45. There's a look at Tatum Bell, who did not play last week because of turf toe, so he set out the win And he is back in the lineup tonight. Tony Parrish making the tackle. And the first quarter comes to an end. 3 turnovers in the first quarter. Uncharacteristically, Bollinger and Lossman each with an interception. It's 0-0 Florida and Las Vegas here at Tropicana Field.
Sorry, I stepped down.
Scoreless game between Vegas and Florida. Head coach Jim Fossil, you have to be happy with your defense, their play, creating 2 turnovers in that first quarter.
Well, 2 turnovers are huge, especially the one down in the end zone where the interception is big, but we got to stop them right now. I thought we had him pinned on the 1, but I guess the review put him out to the 20.
Coach, you gave one back with the interception in the end zone. What happened there?
Well, the receiver was supposed to come flat across, and he went behind the defender. The ball, the defender's right in position.
Very good. Thank you, Coach. Kenny?
Ron on 3rd and 8 throwing. It's going to be close to a first down as Bollinger connects with Paris Warren, who makes his first catch of the day, his 4th this season.
Did you see that catch? Paris Warren, watch his hands. Don't look at anywhere else. Look at his hands. Bang! He just snatches the ball out of the air. I mean, that's just a great catch.
Is it enough for a first down?
It has first down on the field, but
it's
on
first
the scoreboard,
down.
Don't look at the scoreboard.
Don't pay attention to the scoreboard. He's showing 2 balls, 2 strikes, bottom of the 3rd. Michael Pittman in now on first down for Florida. And the quick pitch to Pittman over on the left side, and he picks up about 2. Eric Henderson, 6'2", 256 out of Georgia Tech. Moving in to make the initial hit. Turnbull coming to help out. As you look at Pittman, who has 7 catches out of the backfield. He's the 2nd leading rusher, and of course he had that huge game that everybody in Tampa Bay remembers when he had those 124 yards against the Raiders in that Super Bowl victory a few years back.
He's just a complete player as far as I'm concerned. Not only running with the ball, but also catching it and blocking.
Got a yard on that 2nd and 9. Bollinger time. Throwing over the head of Jason Foster, the intended receiver. Let's check in with Natalie.
Listening during that break there, Coach Gruden was telling his offense that Brooks Bollinger's making it happen. It's the guys around him that aren't following through, aren't sticking with the game plan. Very happy with Brooks' performance. It's just the rest of the offense needs to get on it. Kenny?
All right, interesting, Natalie, especially after Brooks' interception in the end zone when he was making a toss to Pittman out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's doing very well except for that one play.
3rd and 9 at the 45 of Vegas. Bollinger under pressure, dumps it over the middle to Biddle. Biddle first down inside the 30, inside the 25, rush down and around the 22, and there's the top receiver in the league, and Tay Biddle. He had 7 catches against Vegas when they met earlier, picks up his first one here and gets 23 yards.
Look at him coming across the middle, and they're just trailing him. You can't play this guy one-on-one. Tay Biddle is way too fast. Look at this. The corner on that side runs around a linebacker to get to Biddle.
And Biddle pushed out finally by Isaiah Trufant. After that pickup of 23. Tatum Bell now in the backfield. 1st and 10 down to the 23. Bell will carry up the middle. Bell to the 10. First down. Tatum Bell goes right straight through the middle to get about 12 on that carry.
Lucas, the center, Davis, the left guard, and Alexander, the right guard. That hole just opens wide. You know, when you take a look at it, Bell, when he goes through, now you're running up the middle of the field. You are not touched until you've run almost 9 yards. It gives you an idea how wide that hole was in the middle.
And it's 1st and goal, and Bell stays in. Ball marked just inside the 10-yard line. And they'll stay with Bell. About a yard that time.
You know, again, we're looking at a team, Florida, that they just have so much offensive power. I mean, they can substitute at the wide receiver part. They got Maxwell, they got Biddle, they got Foster. Maxwell's a guy that just, I think the first time he started. You got Paris Warren, who made a great play, and Frank Murphy, who we are going to see soon But as Jim Haslett told us, he tries to play every single one of his players in the first half of the ball game.
It's almost like it's like doing a college game in some ways, isn't it? Everybody gets to play. Pittman is in the backfield now. Biddle comes back in along with Maxwell as receivers on 2nd and goal at the 9. Throwing in the corner, touchdown, Florida. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Marcus Maxwell getting his 2nd touchdown reception, and Florida strikes first.
I think I just mentioned his name. But anyway, Marcus Maxwell, this is just, you know, the quarterbacks work on this throw an awful lot in practice. Now watch where the throw goes. Bollinger's up over it. The defender has no chance. The only guy that has a chance to catch the ball is Maxwell, the wide receiver. That is a perfect throw and a great catch.
Wally Donna trying to stay with him. Maxwell hauls it in. Bryant comes on for the extra point. It's there. It's 7-0. Florida marching 80 yards to go up over Las Vegas. Brooks Bollinger finishing it off, going to Marcus Maxwell. It was perfect. Florida trying to stay perfect tonight.
Back inside Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, where the Florida Tuskers getting on the board. First, Marcus Maxwell, new to the team, but 2 back-to-back touchdown receptions in the last game and now this one. You and Brooks really seem like you get each other out there.
Oh, yeah, we stay after practice and we do what we have to do to prepare for today, so that definitely pays off.
And how important was it to get on the board first?
It's very important. It sets the tone and lets other team know that we're not playing around and we're ready to go.
Well, hey, you just started, but things are looking well for this one. Kenny, Paul, back up to you guys.
All right, Natalie. Remember Marcus Maxwell at one time? Doug Gabriel was going to be on the team, then he left. He wound up going to California. Maxwell steps in, and he and Biddle have really stepped it up as Bryant kicks it away, and standing back is Josh Scobie for Las Vegas. Scobie to the 20. Little room up to around the 29 for the former Kansas State star. Odell Thurman moves in to make the tackle. A great drive for a score for Florida. Can Vegas now respond? Here at Tropicana Field, St. Petersburg, Florida, United Football League action on HDNet. 7-0 homestanding Florida Tuskers after an 80-yard drive. And, you know, it's the little things. There was that challenge by Jim Haslett. It looked like the ball was going to be down on the 1. His team got it at the 20. They got in gear. Bollinger drove them for the score. Now, can J.P. Lossman come right back as he hands to D.D. Dorsey. Dorsey slicing over the left side, and he gets first down yardage. Nice run before Fakir Brown moves up to bring him down.
You know, just watch the footwork here. Almost tackled in the backfield. They had a blitz on with the safety. And then Dorsey, just watch Dorsey. Here comes the safety. That's Andrews. He misses the tackle. Keep your feet. This whole thing is about balance.
He gets 11 up to the 40. And Dorsey again will go straight up the middle. And he gets about 3 on that carry. It was interesting yesterday. Yeah, of course, McCarrigal involved in yet another tackle. But, Paul, it was interesting as we were talking with J.P. Lossman when he was describing this defense of the Tuskers and how complicated it can become.
Yeah, he said on the first game that we played, they threw 4 or 5 defenses that he thought he had never seen before. But they were just moving people around. And as we all know, that you know they only had 2.5 to 3 weeks of practice in training camp. But defenses mature first.
Again, they'll stay on the ground, and Dorsey in across the 50 and now gets down to the 45, moving into Florida territory, picking up 12 and another first down.
All right, when you take a look at this play, look at how this defense, they just move up. Everybody's just a man on a man. When you sacrifice yourself to the inside, and Fakir Brown, number 35, misses the tackle. As a corner and they come out to your outside, you've got to make the play. Another first down.
2 nice runs in this drive by D.D. Dorsey. Dorsey, 5 carries, 37 yards. Marcel Shipp now returns to the backfield on 1st and 10 from the 45. Play action, Lossman looking. Good time throwing on the side. Has his man complete to Andre Thurman. Steps out at the 20. Thurman, his 2nd catch.
Now,
Lossman yesterday told us the one thing that I have to learn and be patient with is my feet. Make sure that I have my feet in a position to throw the ball. And that time he had Andre Thurman downfield. Now, Andre Thurman's going to break to the outside. He was in the slot. Now he is wide open. Andrews, number 31, doesn't get it. But watch Lossman. You see his feet? Now he can step up. He knows he's going to get hit. Or at least he better know he's going to get hit holding the ball that long. But he stepped up, and that's the one thing that he said he has to work on. Make sure my feet are in the proper position.
23 on that play. 1st and 10 at the 22 of Florida. Whistle before the snap. That usually means
Delay game offense, number 7. 5 yards remains. 1st down.
Second time that's been called on the Locos.
You know, it's a good thing Fossil has a lot of hair, because he could be pulling some of it out about now. I mean, you're on a drive. You're down by 7. You're playing the best team in the UFL. Okay? Don't make stupid mistakes. Just get yourself set. You have enough time to run a play. Look at the clock. The big clock that marks down from 40 seconds is right in front of you.
1st and 15 at the 27 of Florida. Ship in the backfield. Lossman floating it for the end zone, and it's batted away. Great defense by Fakir Brown. Brown knocking it away from David Kirkus.
You know what's so outstanding about Fakir Brown on this play is that he waits. And what he does is he looks at Kirkus's eyes. And when Kirkus's eyes get big and sees the ball coming, now watch, Fakir Brown will wait. Now he's going to turn at the last second and knock the ball away. All you have to do, really, it seems like it's easy from up here. I never played that position. But if the receiver, his eyes get big and he's looking at the ball coming in, then you make your move. That was perfect by the corner.
The former Grambling star Brown, who played with Haslett when he was head coach of the Saints. And on 2nd and 15, they'll keep it on the ground this time and not get much at all, trying to go right up the middle. No gain as Josh Scobie carries for the first time. And you take a look at Jim Fossil. He was telling us the fun he's having and getting some of these guys like Lossman. He likes to be a teacher and a coach.
And it is a lot of fun when you have pretty good players, too. You know, and the fact that he has a guy like Lossman, he said, I'm going to tell you, Paul, there's a whole bunch of teams in the National Football League that this guy could be playing for right now.
3rd and 15 at the 28 of Florida.
Offside
Lossman,
defense.
flag thrown. He tucks, he's looking, trying to get outside. Thurman giving chase, tripped up. He'll fall forward to about the 22-yard line, but a flag on that play.
This will be offside against the defense. I'll tell you, JP, Mr. Lossman, number 1, you're not that fast.
Well, he had a free play, but nothing free about trying to outrun Odell Thurman.
Offsides, defense number 89. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Is that Rotten number 99? There is no 89, is there?
I think it was on Rotten.
Yeah, it's Rotten 99.
We probably should qualify that in case Claude looks back at the DVR and it wasn't him. It is 3rd and 11 at the 23. Drive start at the 29 of Las Vegas, now in Florida territory and threatening. Lossman, good protection, steps up, throwing over the head, intended once again for Thurman in double coverage. He, of course, wants the flag.
Well, there is no flag. First of all, you don't throw the ball here. There are 3 guys. You're going to see 3 blue shirts covering your guy. Here it is. Look at Thurman. Look at the blue shirts. 1, 2, 3. Why would you even think about throwing the ball in there?
Now to attempt a 41-yard field goal, Graham Gano, the former Lou Groza winner when he was at Florida State. Bauer, the punter, is the holder. Kick is up, and it is no good. Hits over on the left, and Gano misses from 41. That certainly was within his range, but it remains 7-0 Florida leading Las Vegas. One more look. It's up. No wind inside the dome. And just glances outside the upright. I like to look at them from this distance. Way up here, and they're way down there, safe in the aquarium. The Stingray here at Tropicana Field, home, of course, of the Rays, the 2008 American League champs, and home as well now to the Florida Tuskers of the UFL. 7:29 to go here in the first half. 7-0 Florida leads. Kenny Rice, Paul McGuire, Ron Kruk, and Natalie Taylor on the sideline. And Florida withstanding that drive of Las Vegas a minute ago. Everything was going well for Lossman. Then he throws into double coverage, overthrows his man. They miss a 41-yarder, and they remain off the board with 7 and some change to go here in the first half. And now it's time for Brooks Bollinger to come back, and Tatum Bell in the backfield. Florida starting on their own 31-yard line. Keith Heinrich is the tight end that comes back in. Bollinger rolls, throws, has a completion, and picks up a couple of yards to Jermaine Wiggins.
I like the fact that Bollinger's using his tight end. Jermaine Wiggins is, you know, you're not going to get a whole lot, but it puts you in second down position where you can, you know, you can really kind of operate it. Everybody goes to the left-hand side, and there's Wiggins comes out. Now, he knows that, you know, when he gets it to him, it's almost like a running play, but if he breaks one tackle, he could pick up 8 or 9.
Wiggins, a former leading receiver for the Vikings. Pittman in the backfield. Out to the left, Paris Warren and Tay Biddle. And they'll go up the middle. And Teddy Lehman is there to bring down Michael Pittman. A couple of guys that probably know each other from their days. Pittman, of course, with the Bucks, and Teddy Lehman, who was the only rookie to start all 16 games at linebacker in the NFL back in 2004 when he did it for the Detroit Lions. Coming out of Oklahoma after a two-time All-American career.
And here he is trying to get himself back in the National Football League. I like it.
Bell back in on 3rd and 1. There's the pitch to Tatum. Trying for the yardage, and he's going to come up. It looks from here like a little short. Certainly going to be very close. Wally Dada, number 24, among those in pursuit. And it looks like it is going to be 4th down and about a yard to go.
All right, coming back to the outside, it looks like they've got a wall going here, but just take a look at this defensive line. Go down the line of scrimmage and make a play. I mean, that's just pure hustle by the defense.
And it's time to kick it away. Sammy Parker standing back to receive. Sauerbrun's punt off to the side. Goes out of bounds at around the 40, so good field position for Lossman and the Locos to start. Well, it is the eve of Halloween, or maybe that's a real pirate. Either way, he seems to be enjoying himself here. Good turnout on this Friday afternoon and early evening here to watch the homestanding Tuskers up 7-0 on Las Vegas. As you look at some of the crowd that's just behind the first base dugout, in case you've ever been to Tropicana Field, to give you an idea. As Vegas goes on the attack, 1st and 10. Dorsey gets it, now throws it back to Lossman, and Lossman is unloading for it all. He has a man at the 5. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Tab Perry, 60 yards and the score.
And a flag.
And a flag back.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 52 defense. Touchdown is good. Only being forced for kickoff.
Vegas strikes big and fast.
Well, and Vegas is going to be able to kick the ball off with a 15-yard penalty. But this play, Dorsey, you just have an idea of Lossman's arm. He just showed it to you. I mean, that was a trick play, obviously. But Lossman, I mean, he put everything that you could put into his arm. He put it there. And it had enough air underneath it that Perry could wait for the ball.
Lossman with his 5th touchdown of the year. Gano puts that one through, and it ties it at 7. One more look, a little trickery, something up his sleeve for Jim Fossil, and it works beautifully.
Well, look, first of all, he could have had a holding penalty at the top of the screen. But Odell Thurman comes in and nails Lossman, which, you know, there's no call for this anyway. I mean, he didn't have to hit him. Just take a look at this. Perry is so far downfield, he's got about a 10-yard break on the ball.
It's quite simple. One play, 60 yards. It took 10 seconds to score. Lossman, Perry tying it up at 7. (7-7). Here's the way it unfolded to tie the score.
Well, Lossman is under center, and the only way that he could throw this ball downfield, you see him under center, is Dorsey has to throw him a backward pass. It's got to be behind Dorsey in order for Lossman to be able to make this throw. Now you'll see the ball is thrown back to the 29-yard line, and then Lossman just unloads it.
And at the other end, Tab Perry with the score and with Ron.
Kenny Vegas going deep into the bag of tricks. Wide receiver Tab Perry, describe that sweet touchdown.
We knew their defense was going to be really aggressive. Their safeties were coming down in the box. So we caught a double pass on them. Threw a pass to the running back, tossed it back to the quarterback. Line did an awesome job with protection.
Personal
Threw it
foul,
up there, and I decided to go get it. 6 points, baby.
That's one of those that we haven't seen a lot of trick plays yet in this league. Have you guys been working on that in practice?
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of fun with it. We knew that it was going to be a good play for us. We just had to wait.
Sweet touchdown. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenny, back upstairs.
Thanks, Ron. Jim Fossil certainly looked happy that all worked, and because of the roughing the kicker penalty assessed on the kickoff, they'll tee it up at the 45. Roughing the passer, and that's why it's teed up at the 45, and of course we'll go into the end zone. Gano's leg will easily get it there from that distance. So Florida starts 1st and 10 at their own 20.
A play like that jump starts not only your offense but also your defense, and this is where Las Vegas, they really have to come after him now. There's 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. They've got to come after Florida, and don't let these guys move the ball down the field like they did on the last drive.
Well, it started for both teams like the wheels were just going to come off completely. Things that you just don't expect to see. 3 turnovers in the first quarter. They have settled down, and it's been competitive like we expected, and Bollinger gets the pass out and picks up about 4, going to Wiggins, who makes his 3rd catch of the night. He had only 4 total coming into this game.
You know, when you keep throwing the ball to the tight end like that, it gets a little frustrating for the defense. And all of a sudden, you know, when they were talking about Las Vegas, we're talking about Perry, was saying, you know, we know that they're going to be aggressive. When you keep throwing the ball to the tight end 5 yards, 4 yards, they get a little tired and they get a little bored, and they'll leave their men on the outside. Watch.
Tatum Bell in the backfield, 2nd and 6. Bollinger steps up, going down the sideline, complete to Biddle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just like you said it. Heck away, then take the big chunk. And when you go for big chunks like 27 yards, they've been going to this man, Tay Biddle, top receiver in the league. And now he's out of bounds. So forget that.
Well, it didn't work, and I thought it would. But, you know, Tay Biddle is one of those guys. He's got outstanding hands. He's got outstanding speed. But the other thing about him is he runs really good routes. You got to see Bollinger throw this ball to the outside to Biddle. Now, the official is right there. Biddle comes out with
one.
Well,
maybe the ankle or the heel on the right side possibly touching. Did not get both feet down. It's incomplete. Now it's still 3rd and 6. And the always dangerous Biddle still in at the top of the screen. Bollinger, good protection. Throwing off the hands, almost picked off, intended for Warren. Couldn't bring it in. Parrish was there coming up from the strong safety, trying to get a hand on it, and it's 4th and 6.
You know, one of the things that we've seen so far in this first half is both quarterbacks are a little bit late throwing the ball, especially the shots over the middle. We saw 2 great catches behind the receiver, and this one here, Warren really didn't have that much of a chance.
Sauerbrunn, the last time Got it off the side, and there's a fake. A fake, they pick up the first down, and they're still going to midfield. What a play, a little trickery coming back to Shawn Williams. Snap to the up man, Shawn Williams, the special teams captain and the third string running back. So I've got something to show you, say the Florida Tuskers, after the trick play by the Locos.
Shawn Williams, he's the up back. He is the guy that's the nearest guy to the punter. They just direct snap to him. Don't you love the UFL? Come on. I mean, you know, plays like this just make everybody go crazy in the stands. It's just a wonderful play to call.
29 yards and the first down. Beautifully executed by Shawn Williams. Ball inside now the territory of Las Vegas at the 48. On the ground, Tatum Bell. And Bell gets it down inside the 45-yard line, following the block of Pennick before George Goss moves in to make the tackle after a pickup of 3.
You know, when you watch the UFL, you're always waiting for some kind of trick play. Las Vegas came up with one. Now they have a fake punt on the Florida side. I mean, just please, folks, just pay attention. You're going to see a lot of trick stuff.
2nd and 7. Biddle and Warren back in the lineup. They're out to the left. Bollinger. Nice protection, sets up, throws over the middle, almost picked off, going for Warren, and good coverage. Turnbull moving up, Nick Turnbull.
Some of the things you wonder about quarterbacks, you know, and you just wonder, what do you see? What do you actually see? Look at all the white shirts. I mean, where would you see Warren in that maze of white?
Bollinger, a touchdown, also an interception tonight. On 3rd and 7.
Las Vegas, first charge time out of the half.
Las Vegas taking their first time out. 3:01 to go here. Figuring they stop them now. They got the 2-minute warning still to go. Fossil, who knows what else he has up his sleeve after we've seen that little razzle-dazzle that led to tying score here.
Well, I think on this last one, the Fossil looked at the offensive formation that they had and realized that we don't have the right defense called or the right defensive personnel on the field. So let's go ahead and take a timeout. But one thing that I'm surprised about with both of these quarterbacks.
Hey, I gave you a timeout to catch your breath, okay? Get on the field a little bit. Now get after his ass out there.
Well, that says it all. Get after him. But you know, when you take a look at it, here's they're going to be the timeout by Las Vegas. Now they're just, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They had 11 guys on the field, but they just didn't have the right defense called.
Gary Stills, former great from West Virginia, of course, a Pro Bowler with the Chiefs. See him walking to the sideline on 3rd and 7 at the 44 Vegas. Bollinger in Florida trying to get something going here. Bollinger, good drop, throws, complete, and it's caught by Heinrich. The ball is loose. It's picked up by Trey Young, or Nick Turnbull, rather, and Turnbull takes it down. Nick Turnbull picking it up after the completion and the fumble.
Heinrich makes the catch. He doesn't have the first down. He's trying to get to the first down marker. I mean, it's an exciting play to try to jump over someone, but you better have control of the ball when you do it. Here it is right now. Heinrich, he goes over the top, and the reason this ball is coming out before he even hits the ground. This is just an excellent defensive play. Then Turnbull picks it up. But watch Heinrich. Watch, this ball's coming out. He's up in the air. The ball comes out. It's not even hit. He just loses it in midair. I tell you, this is a great, not a great, but a pretty good defensive football game.
And you see Turnbull, who played at Florida International, returning that fumble 40 yards, getting it down to the 22. Outstanding field position for Las Vegas. And another turnover for Jim Haslett's team. You just don't expect Florida to be making the turnovers. They've had 2 fumbles lost and an interception here in the first half alone.
Well, and you look at it, you got to seriously credit defenses with it. You know, the defenses are playing well. There was no place that time for Bollinger to throw the ball, except to the tight end Heinrich. And when he threw him the ball, Heinrich tried to make a little bit more out of it than he really had. So that cost him the ball. You've got to protect the football. Now, Las Vegas, you've got to come away with at least 3 here.
Do they try to strike quickly? Dorsey in the backfield. Kirk is in at receiver. Pitch goes to Dorsey. Going over on the right side. Has room. He's inside the 10. Dorsey, touchdown!
Touchdown, Las Vegas.
One play, one score, 22 yards, and D.D. Dorsey takes it home and puts Vegas in front.
Good, excellent block. But watch what Dorsey does. Watch him cut back against the grain. And now keep an eye on his feet. He gets hit once there and maintains his balance and gets to the end zone. He's been running like that this whole first half.
Dorsey, his second rushing touchdown of the year, his 3rd overall, and Gano comes in for the extra point. "14-7 Locomotives," and Vegas like the bullet train the way they've scored on 2 possessions.
I just like the blocking out front. The offensive line out in front, down, and give Dorsey a chance to move. Bergen, number 87, was the tight end that got a block, and then Dorsey does the rest of it. This young man is very, very determined, but I love the balance. Just like they block, and then you're pulling the tackle. Marquette gets to the outside, number 70, and then you see Dorsey just maintaining his balance and getting into the end zone.
It all started when Nick Turnbull scooped up a fumble, raced 40 yards to give him great field position, and then D.D. Dorsey finishes it off in Las Vegas. Their last 2 plays, 2 touchdowns, 60-yard pass by Lossman to Perry, and that 22-yard run by Dorsey. That was nice and easy. Life is good when you're scoring.
Fossil say, just relax and enjoy yourself. Good things come to you.
Willie Andrews stands back for Florida. And now the Tuskers finding themselves in unusual territory, trailing here in the first half. Andrews, 2 deep in his end zone, will bring it out. Outside, across the 20, fights it off, gets across the 25, around the 27-yard line. Nice return by Willie Andrews.
There is, it's 2:31. Florida has all 3 of its timeouts, according to that trick scoreboard that we have up here. A 2-minute warning, so just be patient. You have plenty of time to get down the field.
And Brooks Bollinger, he's a pretty cool character, isn't he? We've seen a lot going back to his great career at Wisconsin. I'm telling you, a minute ago, I could have sworn Evan Longoria was at the plate. 14-7, now Florida behind first half. This doesn't happen too often. Bollinger trying to respond with his team. Quick throw over the middle, has Tay Biddle. Biddle shaking off a man, still running east to west, and finally brought down. And Tony Parrish making the hit.
Tay Biddle, you better bring him to the ground. And that time Bollinger kind of waited on him. That was not his primary target. They're in a hurry-up offense. They're going to try and get one more play off before the 2 minute.
It's
you don't
going to
have
be close.
Take your time.
There is the 2-minute warning. They picked up 7 to make it 2nd and 3. 2-minute warning. Unbeaten Florida trailing for a rare time in the first half, trying to get one more score.
Welcome back to Tropicana Field. 2 quick scores give Las Vegas a 14-7 lead. D.D. Dorsey, you took a simple pitch and went 22 yards for the score. Describe the play.
Oh, like you said, as a pitch play, the lineman got out in front of me, created this seam, and I just ran into the end zone.
How about the Hogs up front there creating some holes, aren't they?
Oh, they're beautiful. Florida has a really aggressive defense, but our O-line is doing a really great job of handling them, making holes, and their backs are just running through them.
And it helps when your defense is creating turnovers.
Oh, yeah, always. Anytime you go in a turnover battle, you have a good chance of winning the game. So as long as we keep it up, got a hole, another half to play, we got to keep it up, put some more points on the board, hopefully come out with a victory.
Thanks, D.D. Kenny, Paul, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ron. You can see the Locos have done it. 2 big plays. Now back to action. Michael Pittman on the carry. Going straight up the middle for a couple.
I like D.D. Dorsey. Simple pitch. And I just, you know, they opened up the holes and I kind of just jogged in the end zone. Well, he made some great moves in that run. But to him, you know, as long as those big guys are blocking, he's happy.
Pittman picking up 5 first and 10. Again, hurry up. Bollinger out to the side, has his completion. Foster into Vegas territory to the 39, and there he is met. A pickup of 23 going to Jason Foster for the first time tonight. The Parrish coming up to make the tackle.
Timeout, Florida. First charge time out of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Florida uses their first timeout.
Yeah, but the defensive backs got all tied up at each other, and that really allowed it for Foster to get open on the outside. The corner got jammed in with the safety. Take a look. Foster, watch how wide open he is.
And Foster, former Walter Payton winner as the top champion subdivision. You know, once upon a time that was the 1AA, as I remember it, at Georgia Southern. He was the top 1AA player in the country when he was at Georgia Southern.
You know, you're the only announcer I've ever heard that never said, you know, back in the day.
Back in the day,
day?
Once upon a time. Our day, Paul.
That's right.
At the 39 of first and 10 in Vegas territory. Bollinger. Protection, throwing, coming up short, intended for Warren.
Well, Warren, that was a route that was about a 25-yard route. It was a comeback to the outside, and your quarterback doesn't have that much time, not in this territory, to throw that play. But the thing about it is Warren was wide open. Here it is. Bollinger's going to throw, and his arm is hit on the way back.
Gary Stills swiped at the throwing arm as he was going by. It's 2nd and 10 at the 39. Minute 20 to go. Bollinger going down the sideline and overthrowing Biddle, and step for step with Biddle was Joe Porter. That's saying something. What you have there, 2 track All-Americans. Biddle when he was at Ole Miss, Porter when he was at Rutgers.
Well, you just take a look at speed of both guys, Biddle and Porter. Take a look at the speed. They are running step for step. That ball had to be absolutely perfectly thrown in order for Biddle to get it.
3rd and 10. It would be something to line Porter and Biddle up and just have them race. That would really be, I think, a great thing to see sometime. They're 2 of the fastest guys in the UFL. Bollinger. Protection. Falling apart now, and now he spins his way out of it. Bollinger still on his feet, and finally chased and brought down by Teddy Lehman. Bollinger, great balance to stay up, but could not get the pass anywhere. And he is sacked. First sack tonight.
You know, this is Bollinger just trying to get that. Stills right there grabbing him. But, you know, just take a look at this. I don't know that, you know, when he's hit by Stills, when he goes, the ball goes down and hits the ground, but he's back up.
Las Vegas, their second charge time out of the half, a 30-second timeout.
Vegas takes a time with 35 seconds. A couple of veteran linebackers we talked about. Jim Fossil talking about a few things. But you saw the vets, Gary Stills spinning him around, Teddy Lehman eventually bringing down Bollinger.
Well, I can tell you, Jim Haslett is not very happy with this offense. So he'll be talking to Gruden at halftime and say, you know, we got to start doing some things that we do better.
Florida has never trailed at halftime.
You know, one of the things we said is that Las Vegas really has to figure out what to do with the defense of Florida, which they have done. And their defense has found out what to do against Florida's offense.
Sammy Parker away to the Sauerbrunn punt. This time no snap to the up back. They'll punt it away. And it's short bouncing. A good bounce down to the 1. And nice defensive play to stop it at the 1 by Michael Grant. Grant, the backup cornerback, makes a good play for the special teams.
Well, you got a 7-point lead, Las Vegas. Just hand it, get out of there. But, you know, Florida still has 2 timeouts.
J.P. Lossman, 7 for 11. That 60-yard touchdown pass to Tab Perry, getting his team on the board to tie it up. And then a turnover. What do we always say? Turnovers, no matter at what level, right? It'll eventually bite you, and it has Florida here, as it looks like they're going into the locker room at halftime trailing for the first time this season.
Well, one thing that he cannot do, Lossman, is take a knee.
I said it looks that way.
Yeah.
Lossman wisely finding a little bit of real estate over on the right side.
Yeah, he knew. I mean, you take a knee and get hit, it's a safety. So he had to get the ball out of there. Just don't get. There's no way to even think about getting greedy. Just get out of there and hope that Florida doesn't start taking timeouts.
That's it. It's under 5 seconds now. And so for the first time this season, someone has a lead on the Florida Tuskers at intermission. J.P. Lossman and the Las Vegas Locomotives lead it 14-7, trying to come in and be the first team in the UFL to put a loss in the column of the Florida Tuskers. Big plays. 2 big plays been the difference here for Vegas.
It is. It's big defensive plays, and you know, in a game like this, you know, you count on your defense. All you ask your offense to do is, we're going to give you the ball in good field position. Do something with it.
Let's check in with Ron.
Thanks, Kenny. Coach Fossil, you moved the ball up and down the field the entire half, converting that into 2 touchdowns late. Evaluate the offense.
Well, I think, you know, we made the big play on them on the double pass there. And then we're running the football again consistently. We're moving the football. We just got to eliminate our mistakes.
What do you tell your guys at halftime?
We're only halfway there, and we came here on a mission, and we want to prove something, and we got to get on that mission second half.
Very good. Thanks, Coach. Kenny, Paul.
All right, thanks, Ron. One of those things that he told us about yesterday, it's about us. Las Vegas has to take care and play like Las Vegas. They've been doing it so far.
I love it when he said it. He said it has nothing to do with them being Florida. It is about our football team, what our purpose was when we came here.
Las Vegas, they've been able to make some big plays. It started off with a touchdown pass from Bollinger, and then Lossman and company come right back. A little trickery. Lossman going to Perry. D.D. Dorsey doing it on the ground, and the Locos lead 14-7 at intermission. Back at Tropicana Field, Las Vegas doing something no one else has in 4 games so far against Florida. That is going to the locker room at halftime with the lead, 14-7. The Locomotives, Locos to their friend, leading the Tuskers. Kenny Rice, Paul McGuire. Interesting start to this game. 3 turnovers in the first quarter. Very uncharacteristic for both teams. And then some trick plays and good defense, and everything gets a guy going there in the second.
Yeah, you know, the turnovers at the beginning were quarterback's fault. They're throwing the ball a little bit late. But I'll tell you what's interesting about this game. As Fossil said, we've come here on a mission. And he told us yesterday, we don't care about what they do, it's about what we do. You know, it really looks in the first half, and it's only the first half, that after that first meeting that these two had, that Las Vegas made the adjustment. They have decided this is the way we're going to go with this thing. This is what we think they're going to throw at us. And I think they've kind of solved that problem. Now what's going to happen at halftime? What adjustments does Florida make to get back in this ball game?
It's certainly very different. Remember, it was a 22-0 lead when they met in Las Vegas. Florida jumped out early. Vegas rallied late. Let's listen in now to the Florida locker room.
All right, get with your coaches, guys. Unless, Jim, you got anything for them? I mean, it's.
We got tackle. All right. Hey, if we run over, fire 1. All right, go. All right. Free safety, you're coming off the edge. Odell, you hammered back to Tim to Odell, right? Hey, we got every 9 man front in the world now. They should be able to run the ball. Okay. We got. Let's go, man. We're all stepping up. Pick it up, baby. We got the ball first. Hey, yeah, we just need to play on passes, man. We so flat out there, man.
We down 7 points, man. They take it out, man. Defensive talk and all that. So all us got to step our damn game up. Everybody tackling good. Let's do our fight.
D-line, let's go. D-line, come on over.
We don't need to talk none of that. Let's go out and show our fucking play, man. Me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you saw some of the veterans. And that was Jerome Carter as well that jumped up, who's had an interception tonight. He jumped up and was saying a few things too. Paul, we talked about this being the most veteran ball club, Florida, so you would think if anyone can just regroup and come back out, it would be them.
Well, and you look at Haslett. He doesn't look shaken about anything. He just said, hey, Odell, you got this covered. We got this. You take him back to the inside. Everything we talked about is there. They're doing what we want to do. What we have to do is stop the running game. Don't let them run the football. They've already stopped Lossman. I mean, that was a trick play. Come on. But basically, they've stopped them. So let's stop the running play, and that's exactly what they need to do the second half.
Well, it has been an interesting first half. That is for certain, and a very different game than when they first met. It was all Florida then. Vegas coming in here to St. Petersburg. They have the lead. We'll show you how they did it when we come back here at halftime. At halftime, Las Vegas leading here in Florida, 14-7 over the homestanding Tuskers. And it was the first quarter that was plagued by turnovers, 3 total. That's certainly not what you expect from the top 2 teams in the league. And then it got even more interesting. There were still turnovers and some trick plays, and that led to most of the scoring in the second quarter. Go figure, we certainly didn't anticipate it would be that way, although a close game is not a surprise.
But it wasn't a surprise when you talked to both coaches about going into this football game. They both knew that it's going to be a defensive football game. And they didn't know about the turnovers. They really did. But you count on it. As a defensive football team, you count on these turnovers. They're there. You take advantage of the opportunities.
Brooks Bollinger had only thrown one turnover on an interception all year. He'd already thrown one, but then he regains his composure. He comes back, goes to the air. Maxwell, 7-0 in favor of Florida.
Then we had the trick play. Dorsey back to Lossman and the throw to Perry. This was just, I mean, it was just, you wait on a play like this almost the entire game. They pulled it off in the first half.
60 yards to tie it up. And then this turnover, as Heinrich loses it, it is scooped up by Nick Turnbull. 40 yards later, he puts Vegas in great scoring position.
And then, as D.D. Dorsey said, just a simple run. I had blockers out in front of me. That is not a simple run, folks. That's an outstanding run.
Just getting away from Big Claude Rotten. That was pretty impressive. And that made it 14-7. We look at the stats. Turnovers leap out. 3 turnovers for Florida in this game, and the Locos have capitalized with 1 touchdown off that.
Well, you know, when you look at all, you can put all the stats you want up there, and when you have that one that's 4th down, that turnover thing, that's the one that really determines most of the games. The team that wins the turnover battle, usually 95% of the time you win the football game.
So Florida right now, you see the numbers for them and the numbers for Vegas. That's just about the way they usually play. Nothing too skewed there, but like you say, it's the turnovers. What do you see in the second half, barring turnovers, of course, that each team needs to do here?
Well, Florida gets the ball back in the second half, and they have to move. They have to convince themselves that they can move the ball against Las Vegas. So far, they really haven't done that. They did it on that one drive that the ball they thought was going to be at the 1-yard line. They moved it out to 20 and then took it 80 yards. But they've got to convince their own football team that they can move the ball against Las Vegas.
You figure Vegas has to be very confident right now, not just being up 14-7, but after being embarrassed, giving up 6 sacks in the first half when they first met. They have played a much tougher, stronger, smarter game here tonight.
And we talked about this at the beginning of this game. Both of these teams have outstanding offensive lines. And it all starts on the offensive side of the ball with the line. If these guys are holding up and they're blocking and the quarterbacks have time to throw the ball, not only just to hand it up, but to throw the ball, then it changes the complexion of the entire ball game.
Well, Florida had never trailed at halftime until now. Las Vegas leading it. 14-7 over the Tuskers. The second half coming up. And here come the Locos up 14-7 at intermission. Let's go to Natalie.
Guys, first time your team's been down at half. What's your biggest concern?
Well, I really don't have a concern. You know, we got to do a better job tackling on defense, and offense we got to take care of the football. But I expect these guys to pick this up in the second half and play much better.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the offense. Seems very uncharacteristics of your normally crisp offense. What has to change?
Well, I think the big thing is we got to get in the rhythm and take care of the football. We keep, every time we get something going, we turn the ball over. So you got 3 turnovers, you're not going to win too many games.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Kenny, Paul, back to you guys.
Thank you, Natalie. That sums it up again. We can't echo it enough, right? If you're playing Pee-wee, you're playing in the pros, turnovers, field position, it's going to factor in.
And Hazlitt has a lot of veterans on his football team, veteran NFL players, and he really knows. Look, and I don't have to tell these guys, they're making mistakes. Just correct the mistakes. If you don't turn the ball over, we're going to score. They're on drives, they lose the ball. I mean, he just knows that you don't have to go into the locker room and yell and scream at these guys. They've been around too long.
A little early trick-or-treat action coming out to the UFL. Here for the first time in Tampa, Florida splitting their home games between Orlando and here at Tropicana Field. Of course, the home to the Rays baseball team, and the configuration laid out from home plate down the right field foul line. That's where the other end zone is.
Have you ever done a game from here?
No.
I have never done a game.
We're behind home plate.
Yeah, but there's our view of the stadium. So if they throw a touchdown over here, or over here in this corner over here, where I hit the wrong, this guy right over here, we throw it over there, we have no idea not only who caught it, but what team got it. We are a long, long way from that other end to that end zone.
But otherwise, a beautiful press box they have here.
Yes, they do. I mean, it's a great place for baseball.
And a great place for the kids to come out and pet the Rays.
And I'm not surprised at the crowd because, you've got an undefeated team here in Florida. But there is a very nice crowd here tonight.
And over a dozen connections from the Tampa Bay Bucks to the Florida Tuskers as well. Willie Andrews dropping back to receive the kick. And Gano kicks it off, and Florida comes on offense first. Andrews across the 20, 25, 30, cuts back to the 35, out close to the 40. Tony Parrish brings him down, and Willie Andrews making a nice kick return.
Well, Willie Andrews, first of all, you cannot form a wedge in the UFL. You can only have 2 men in a wedge. But the blocking has to be crisp. This is pretty good blocking downfield, and Willie Andrews takes advantage of the space that he had. Here he comes. You see the wedge is right in front of you. There's only can be 2 guys together. Now, they can have 2 guys stacked behind each other, but they can't be in 4 across like that. And I like the return. When you get a good return, with this return, the way they have it, that's good.
A 36-yard return gives the Tuskers good field position. Tatum Bell begins in the backfield and takes the handoff over on the left side, up across the 40 to about the 42-yard line for Bell. And moving in to make the tackle, Wendell Bryant. Here are the last 4 possessions for the Tuskers. They got the touchdown, then the punt, the fumble that led to a touchdown, and then they kicked it away just before the end of the first half.
And just come out. You know how good your offense is. You really know how good your defense is. And just be patient.
2nd and 6. Again, they'll go up the middle with Bell. Bell trying to fight for a little more room outside. And he is brought down. The linebacking core doing a good job there after Owassum moved him that way.
Now you see, in this league, all 4 linemen have to have their hand on the ground. And it really is tough. When each one of those guys take a slot, each guy has a hole to take, and they're covered. There's really no place to run up the middle.
Michael Pittman in the backfield on 3rd and 5. Bollinger. Good protections. It's batted down. And they were able to get the pressure on Bollinger and big number 77, Wendell Bryant, 6'3", 303 pounds.
Boy, this is taken, when you take the guard and the tackle, you take one back to the quarterback. I mean, there's no place for the quarterback to throw the ball.
So they hold. Florida will kick it away on their first possession. Sammy Parker standing back, receiving the Sauerbrunn punt. And this is his best punt of the night. Parker takes it around the 12, cuts up the middle, and gets out to around the 20. So Vegas now goes on the attack for the first time here in the second half, leading 14-7.
14-7, Las Vegas leads Florida. I'm joined by New York Sentinel quarterback Quinn Gray. And Quinn, you finally get a home game. Unfortunately, you didn't get the W. Give us your thoughts on that game last night.
It was there for the taking. We just got to learn how to win as a team, and that's the wins have been sort of kind of shying away from us. But we're still hungry, and we're going to continue to fight for it.
You look at your stats, 22 of 32, 232 yards and a touchdown, but only 13 points. What's going on with that offense?
Well, it's all about consistency. You know, the last few weeks we haven't been able to put up many points, taking advantage of our red zone stuff and things like that. So once we get down in those areas, we can't have the penalties, the dumb penalties and stuff like that. And we have to be able to hold on to the ball, most importantly.
Quinn, thanks for the time. Enjoy the game.
No problem.
Kenny?
All right, Ron. Ship carries, picks up a couple before DeJuan Tribble moves in to make the tackle. Give him 3 on that. We'll make it 2nd and 7 for Las Vegas.
I like Quinn Gray as a quarterback. I really do. He's got a lot to learn, but he's conscious about, what we have to do in the whole word about a brand new league. And with these guys, all 4 of these teams, is consistency. If you can get consistency out of your players, you're going to win.
Dorsey now coming in the backfield. He'll take the handoff, going over on the left side, and not finding a whole lot there. And we mentioned as Darian Scott moves in to make the tackle. Here in Florida, obviously, great football state. Quinn Gray was a star at Florida A&M, one of the many outstanding collegiate players to go to the NFL, and now trying to get back there, playing in the UFL. Davis favoring his leg a little bit. He's going over to the sideline. You look at Jerome Carter, who already had an interception, and he got the starting nod tonight because Willie Andrews out for a 2nd game with a groin injury. On their first offensive series here in the second half, a 3rd and 7 for Las Vegas at their own 23.
Tavares Washington comes in at left guard.
Rossman pressure, dumps it over the middle, incomplete. And one of the best rushes of the night put on Lawson on that 3rd down.
This was supposed to be a middle screen. Now watch the pressure. The line just lets it go a little bit too soon, and the defensive linemen actually read this thing perfectly. And that was Rotten, number 99, I think, that makes the play.
And Thurman was the man putting on the pressure, Odell Thurman, as Willie Andrews stands back, awaiting the Danny Bauer punt. Andrews, it hits him, it's free, a flag is down, and there's a scramble for it, and it looks like Florida has kept it. But a flag on the play.
I think it's interference with the return guy, the guy that tried to catch the ball. Now the question is, was the Las Vegas player that was down there, was he pushed into the return man?
Kick catch interference, number 59 of the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's on Ezra Butler. So good field position now for Florida when they go on the attack for the 2nd time in the second half. Andrews was awaiting this punt a minute ago, and the penalty is called. Let's take another look at it.
It's on number 59 down the field. You see him now, and it's Ezra Butler. But I don't know that he really interferes because Anderson kind of pulls up on his own. He's looking at the ball, knows that he can't make the catch. And I tell you, the officials are all over by Fossil. He wants an explanation. He wants to know, wait a minute, how did my guy interfere?
Because that's a biggie. That's a 15-yarder.
Yeah, well, you don't want to make him mad. I told him last night in the meeting we had with him, I said, when you get mad, the veins in the side of your neck kind of shoot out.
Even more so in high definition.
Yeah, it's going to stay.
So great field position now for Florida to begin their 2nd series. Play action, Bollinger rolling, and he's throwing deep. He wants it all. He may get a touchdown. Marcus Maxwell hauling it in.
Well, I'll tell you, Bollinger just showed you his arm. Look at this. He's on the run. He sees Maxwell. He hasn't even really turned to throw the ball. And just Maxwell on an outstanding play. Trufant, number 30, had us downfield, but Maxwell makes an outstanding catch. But the throw.
46 yards, Maxwell's second touchdown, and Bryant with the extra point to tie the score, and it's there. What a game we have going. Two best teams in the league slugging it out. It's been all about the big plays, and here it is. Bollinger wants everything, and he finds it again with Maxwell. Marcus Maxwell has 2 catches for 55 yards. Both of them touchdowns. Nice evening for him.
Not a bad stat. All right, Bollinger, you watch him. Here's the amazing thing about this. Watch him throw the ball on the run. He doesn't really turn and set. He just throws it. Now you got Maxwell, who is 6'3", and Isaiah Trufant, who is 5'8". I don't care if Trufant was 6'5". Wouldn't have mattered. That ball was perfectly thrown, and he was already beaten.
It was on the money, and it's tied the game at 14. And Josh Scobie stands back awaiting Matt Bryant's kick. Comes up short, taken at the 20, across the 30 by tight end Adam Bergen. In this game, there have been 3 one-play drives. 2 by Vegas, that one by Florida.
Well, you know, the old deal is, the coach says, let's not waste time. let's go score in the first place and we don't have to fool around.
There you see Jim Fossil, his Vegas team coming in here 1-1. Their only loss was to Florida. And there's J.P. Lossman. Touchdown and an interception tonight. He has Dorsey in the backfield behind the fullback Barthel. Lossman looking, throwing, and overshooting his intended receiver, David Kirkus.
Now here is a classic example of what Lossman was telling us about. He did not get himself set. Look how far overthrown this ball is. That's like, what, 5 yards? He does not get himself set to throw the ball. This is the one thing that Fossil has been working on with him. Get comfortable in the pocket. Set yourself. You know where you're going to go with the ball. Be ready to throw it. Step into the throw.
2nd and 10 at the 34. Lossman, sideline, complete. Kirkus that time, and he steps out of bounds.
Step into the throw. That time he sees Kirkus on the outside. You know, you don't have to get it all at once, even though we've had 3 one-play touchdowns. But just watch Lossman now. Set. Now step into it. Now he steps into the play. Perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all that Fossil wants him to do.
8 yards to bring up a 3rd and 2. Dorsey. Great receiver out of the backfield is that. Dorsey will try to carry for the first down, and he is going to be close. Looks like he's picked it up. From our angle in the end zone, it looks like he's picked it up.
Well, from this angle, it looks like he picked up anything you wanted. we're in a position where we can't tell you. But, all right, here's Dorsey. Just take a look at this young man. I really like what he is doing. He knows where he has to get to. The offensive line takes care of their job, and Dorsey picks up the first down. I just like watching this guy run. He's good.
Dorsey got 3 on that. 1 yard to spare. On 1st and 10, Lossman loading up, going over the middle, complete to Thurman. Thurman going down the sideline, gets inside the 25, and he's brought down there.
I don't want to keep harping on this thing, but I got to tell you, this time you take Lossman, he just sets himself. He sees the rush coming from the outside. He just takes that one little step up to avoid the rush. There's a step, now sets himself, and then throws the ball. Thurman coming across the middle. It is, I'm just telling you, as Fossil said to him, it's easy, boys. Just relax.
And Lossman has to keep telling himself that, as he told us yesterday. From time to time, they pick up 33 on the play. Ball down to the 23 of Florida. 1st and 10. Lossman flips it out to Dorsey. Dorsey oversteps one guy, spins around. You need about 3 or 4 guys to bring him down. And it was Culberson making the hit, Quentin Culberson.
You know, when I say I like the way Dorsey runs, you think you have him? No, you don't. Watch this little flip pass to the outside. Now watch this. That Fournette coming by. Well, it just went by. Bye. I'll see it. But he does get back up and help make on the play. But you know the thing about it is when you look at Dorsey, you think that he is down. I don't think so. And he's only 5'11", 210.
The most exciting 1-yard gain tonight. It is 2nd and 9, tied at 14 when we come back. It's tied at 14. Vegas on the move. Let's check in with Natalie.
Hey, thanks, Kenny. With Brooks Bollinger here. Part of the message the coach gave at halftime was to go for it. Only 30 minutes left. Was that part of the reason you guys went all out on that last series?
Well, we just needed to get something going. We needed a spark, and Jay made a good call, and fortunately we caught him in the right coverage, and Marcus was able to make the play and get in the end zone.
11 passing touchdowns for you. Talk about your receiving core and the rapport you've been building with them.
Oh, they've been great. A lot of them have been in this offense before, so when I first got here, they were really telling me what to do. So it's been they're a good group of guys, easy to work with, and we just got to keep building and be a little smoother than we were in the first half.
Thanks for your time, Brooks. Kenny, back to you.
Thanks, Natalie. J.P. Lossman now trying to counter. Fires it out. Another trick play coming up. Throwing, and it is incomplete. Perry throwing for Bergen. And Tribble says, yes, I'm not fooled by that.
Well, this is one of the easiest ways I know to get your receiver killed. You talk about hanging a guy out to dry. This is a throwback to another trick play, a throwback to the outside. Now watch this ball hang in the air. And Bergen is saying, oh, no, 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 no. I mean, it really is a way to get killed.
And it is 3rd and 9 at the 22. Lossman, good protection, now moving out to his left. Under pressure, unloading it out of bounds. And Charles Rotten putting the heat on. The man that Jim Haslett told us at times, reminds him of Warren Sapp.
Well, you just take a look now at Lossman in the pocket, and Rotten is the guy that just keeps going after him. This is not a bad hit. You can't slow down a guy that's 300 pounds going full speed. And Rotten didn't try to deliver an unsportsmanlike blow. He just tackled the quarterback.
Gano missed from 41 yards earlier. This one from 40. And this one is through, and Las Vegas is back in front, 17-14 on the 40-yard field goal by Graham Gano. So J.P. Lossman gets him down to field goal range, and Gano delivers.
See, you like the play that he made. He's running to the outside. He has no place to throw the ball to. Just throw the ball away, and we'll take the 3 and get on with it.
As you mentioned the last time, of those 6 sacks, you can't blame everything you felt on the offensive lineman. There were times, and even J.P. Lossman said, yeah, I could have gotten rid of the ball, particularly under the basically no grounding rule. If you get rid of the ball in the grasp, it's not grounding in the UFL.
Well, when you look at a team and you have a quarterback and their team is struggling a little bit, and here's a guy that's been in the National Football League, a #1 draft choice for the Buffalo Bills, and he looks at himself, he says, I got to put this team on my shoulders. No, you don't. That's what Fossil is trying to teach him. You do not have to put this team and carry this team on your shoulder. What your job is to put your team in a position to win. And don't do anything stupid to get you out of position to score.
Fossil told us he gave that same advice to a guy named John Elway one time.
And John took it.
Put it all on your shoulders.
Exactly. That's why you got 10 other guys on that field with you at the same time.
Gano kicking off. Andrews standing back. Andrews moves up, takes it at the 11, across the 20. Helmet goes flying. He goes flying up to around the 40 before finally being brought down. Another good return. 32 yards for Willie Andrews, and Nick Turnbull, who had that big fumble recovery, is in there to make the hit.
You know, Willie Andrews, you know what I like about him? Here's a return man, straight ahead. You know, when you hear north and south runner, but aren't most football fields east and west?
They are.
I mean, there is a lot of smacking going on out there, but I just like what he does with the ball on a kickoff return.
Good field position. Florida goes to work from their own 44. Bollinger spins and deals to Tatum Bell, who gets across midfield into Las Vegas territory. Let's check in with Ron.
Kenny, some injuries to report from the Vegas secondary. Number 23, Brandon Sumrall, has hyperextended his knee. He will not return tonight. And leading tackler Wally Dada, number 24, he pulled his groin in the second quarter. He went in, got an IV. He just returned to the field right now, but keep an eye on him. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Ron. On 2nd and 3, they'll keep it on the ground, and it looks like they have picked up another first down, going with Tatum Bell up the middle.
Patience, patience, patience.
And you know, if you just tuned in, Larry Upson done an outstanding job, I think, with putting these officials together. And we mentioned there's basically no grounding rule. So if you're in the grasp, if the quarterback gets it back to the line of scrimmage or beyond, it isn't grounding, as we have come to know it over the years of watching football. And that's one thing Lossman said he's learning a little bit about himself.
Be smarter with the ball.
So on 1st and 10, Bollinger's throwing on the slant. He has the completion and the first down as he is able to get it to Kerry Colbert, just on the team, the former Southern Cal star who played with the Carolina Panthers, and that's his first catch as a Tusker.
Kerry Colbert knows how to run a slant. It's a perfect slant and a perfect throw. The only place that ball can be caught is down low. Kerry Colbert makes the catch. And we have another first down.
Colbert joining the team when Chad Gessner was injured and out for the season. Michael Pittman back in, gets it in the backfield, and he's going to lose on that one. And that was Lavelle Sapé out of the University of Utah making the tackle. And shaken up on that, it looks like it's B.J. Alexander. You see some of the numbers on the Hawaii-born Sapé, played some in NFL and then most recently in Arena. And they're administering to P.J. Alexander, a former starter with the Atlanta Falcons, the right guard for Florida. Talking with Alexander, Paul, I remember when we, Ron and Natalie and our executive producer Darrell Ewalt were all gathering when we were first meeting these guys, and P.J. Alexander a month or so ago saying, it is like a family thing. It's going to sound corny, but trust me, it's like family. We're all in the sand at that time in a dorm, basically together in a hotel. And there is that esprit de corps, he said, I haven't felt since I was back at Syracuse.
Well, even Hazard told us the other day, he says, the one thing about these guys are they're having fun and they really like each other. And you better like each other because they're spending the entire year at the same hotel.
And isn't it interesting, a little bit like college as well, they're all hoping to get to the NFL.
Okay, P.J. Alexander's number 69, and he's pulling out here. And he takes a shot to the shoulder, and look at it, he's just holding his left arm and doubled over. Now, I don't know if it's his shoulder or not.
It's 2nd and 11. Pittman comes in the backfield. Biddle is in motion, and he will take the pass. That's Foster out in the flat. Foster down to the 20. Jason Foster, just back in the game, was the man in motion who made the catch. Well, and Parrish brought him down.
Jason Foster makes this catch, but look at Bob Petiti, number 78. We talked about him. He's the left tackle. Watch him get out into play. To the right of your screen. See big 78? Look at Foster. Now, Petiti really doesn't get a devastating block, but he gets a piece of the defensive man, and that allows Foster to pick up the first down.
And Trufant, who weighs about 175 pounds compared to 330 from Petit, didn't want any of that. Throw over the middle and incomplete, going for Pittman.
And they call it incompleted pass because Pittman didn't have it.
There's a look at Anthony Davis, former starter with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Here's the throw to Pittman. He just never has control of the ball when the ball comes out. You have to be able to tuck the ball in and make, I love this one, make a football move.
2nd and 10 at the 20. Bottom of your screen, Tate Biddle is back in. Pitch comes to Pittman, and Pittman is met and brought down right at the 20 by Moore. Brandon Moore, former 49er, and he made a nice solid hit, and the Moore family has to be proud of that. His older brother Rob, of course, wide receiver in the NFL, a strong football family.
Take a look at it and watch number 9, Paris Warren. He comes out and he's going to get a block. Number 9, Paris Warren, he knocks Will Porter down, but I like what he did. He picked one of the smaller men on the field. He didn't pick a big linebacker.
On 3rd and 10, Biddle and Warren both in as receivers. Bollinger looking, throwing out of the backfield, has Biddle, and Biddle goes down. Lehman wraps him up and takes him down inside the 15. It'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, this is an outstanding play by Lehman, the linebacker. Biddle is trying to get to the 1st down marker. He knows where it is. And watch Lehman, number 54. He is a linebacker.
And Matt Bryant comes on now to attempt a 31-yard field goal. It's up, it's good. We're tied at 17. So Florida and Vegas exchanging field goals on the last couple of drives as you look at J.P. Lossman as he gets ready now to come back on offense for the Locomotives. I don't know what else you could ask for in this game. We talked about how good these two teams were from the start of the season, how they really stood out, and they have lived up to all the billing tonight.
Well, you're looking at Florida, the best offensive team in the first game. I mean, they kind of stuck it to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas to me made the bigger adjustment of the two teams. I think both offensively and defensively, especially on the defensive side of the board. They bent a little bit, but they didn't break. And you look at this drive here. This was an easy drive. You say, you know what, we're on a drive. We got the number 1 team. But they shut them down, held them to a field goal. This is a very, very good football game.
And in case Dennis Green is watching, we have a feeling he is because he's called the truck before. No, we've not forgotten about the progress of your California Redwoods. Now 2-2 with the big game coming up with Vegas here on HDNet in a couple of weeks. As California, they found a quarterback rhythm, it seems, with Shane Boyd, and they have the dangerous Corey Ross in the backfield.
You're exactly right.
Tab Perry standing back, awaiting the kick. Perry has a little trouble with it, picks it back up. Looks for some room around the 15. He cannot find any more. And Derek Richardson moves in to make the stop. So J.P. Lossman begins at the 15.
I don't think that Florida has made the adjustments they should have made defensively at the halftime. Now, you know, you can only blitz 5 guys. So if you're sitting back wondering why they're not blitzing, I know it's a rule. We keep reinforcing it, the fact that you only can blitz 5 people. But Florida feels they can do it without blitzing.
Dorsey backfield. Play action. Lossman under pressure. Ball's loose. He gets it back. Goes down at the 9.
That's rotten again. Like I said, they can do it with the front 4. They don't need to blitz. And that time they did. Here's Lossman stepping up in the pocket. Look at 99 is rotten. He just reaches in, knocks the ball out of Lossman's hand. Protect the football.
Well, that's a pretty good front, and they go deep. At least 6 guys come in and out, but their starters, Scott, Rotten, Boykin, Savage, all with good NFL experience. On 2nd and 16 at the 9. And there's flags. There was movement. Were they drawn off, or did that big front 4 jump for Florida?
If they jumped in unison.
They sure looked like it was choreographed, didn't it?
Oh.
Offsides. Defense number 91, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
You know, some people sit there and say, well, why would you make the call if the defense is offside? And, you know, Lossman catches him with a hard count. But the thing about it is, here's Lossman, listen. Well, he gets him with the hard count because he got all 4 guys offside. But, you know, you just protect the quarterback. There's no reason to let some defensive guy take a running shot at him.
They called it on Powell. A couple others could have been involved, perhaps, on 2nd and 11. Lossman, screen over the middle, and Dorsey is met and brought down, and there's Odell Thurman moving in. Third and 10 coming up.
Well, you know, you just kind of like what you're seeing now in this series of downs with the defense. All right, they did jump offside, but they sacked the quarterback, knocked the ball out of his hand, made a fumble, and he recovered it. And then they stopped Dorsey. This is where Lossman has been very good, is on 3rd down situations.
Big 3rd down here for Lossman. 3rd and 10 at his own 15. Fires it out on the side. And is going to get very close, getting that 1st down with D.D. Dorsey. Tribble making the hit. And a flag on the play.
First of all, Dorsey did not get the 1st down.
He comes up short.
There's no foul in the play for late hit out of bounds. The contact occurred inbounds and was carried out of bounds. No flag.
Okay, here's D.D. Dorsey. Now he's hit here. Now the marker is up there. They can't give him a 1st down. It's got to be a 4th down. He was still in bounds when he gets hit. This is just a good play. And I don't know why they threw the flag in here, but the nice part about it, if you do throw the flag and you make a mistake, don't be afraid to pick it up. The only mistake ever made is an uncorrected mistake.
And on 4th and a short 2, Bauer will kick away. And Willie Andrews has had some nice returns. Stands back. Florida should get good field position out of this. Bauer, former All-NFL Europe punter.
Very nice.
Andrews back to 30, 35, and gets to the 38. That's where Florida will begin this series with 2:28 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 52-yard kick.
You know, I really do. You know, if we're talking about Andrews returning, kickoff returns, punt returns, Willie Andrews is one of those guys that goes straight ahead. I mean, he doesn't lose yardage. He doesn't waste time. If something pops, because once you get by that first wave, you've got a pretty good running room, and all you really have are little people to beat.
Andrews, member of the special teams for the Patriots against the Giants in that Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Tatum Bell rips this one off. Nice gain as he gets into Vegas territory, going across the 50. Tatum Bell, 13 yards on the carry.
All right, this is up the middle. Now, Lucas is in the ball game as a center. They just block extremely well at the line of scrimmage.
Bell, 13 carries, 53 yards. Ball at the 49 of Las Vegas. Bollinger will keep it on the ground, and Bell will do the work once again.
You know, I love teams, and both of these teams are playing that way tonight. They're playing with patience. They are really taking what the defense is trying to give them. The only problem is when they scored 3 touchdowns on the very first play. But the thing about it is when they get into the red zone is when the defense is really toughen up.
2nd and 6 at the 45. Again on the ground, they go right over the right side with Tatum Bell.
Now the right side over there, that's Wanda's over there. You know, when you can push the defense off the line of scrimmage, you're doing your job. And we've said this before, and I will repeat it. Offensive linemen would rather run the ball than pass the ball, because they know exactly where they're going and they know where the ball is going.
It's 3rd and 4. Bollinger to throw, and it's batted down. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage again by Wendell Bryant.
This is all done by penetration by the defensive line. Wendell Bryant the second time. Just take a look at when they have penetration. Watch the hands. As soon as the quarterback's ready to throw, Wendell Bryant. Now, Wendell Bryant is 6'5", 300 pounds. That's just great defense.
Twice he was the Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year when he played at Wisconsin. Sammy Parker standing back. Sauerbrunn back in punt formation. It's high, it is short, and it takes a Las Vegas bounce. And Sauerbrunn knows it, former All-Pro kicker. He doesn't have to have it spelled out.
I don't understand. If you're going to kick the ball, just kick the ball out of bounds. You know, look at the 10-yard line and aim for the 10. You're a right-footed kicker. Kick the ball to the left of the field. So in case you do shank it, like he just did there, it goes, at least it goes down the middle. Don't blame that on you, Sauerbrunn. You're the guy that put the ball up in the air. We're not that cute with the football. And if you kick the ball out of bounds, they can't return it. Now they get the ball. Las Vegas they get the ball on the 32-yard line.
11 yards on that punt. Vegas good field position. Dorsey in the backfield, and he takes it trying to get outside. And he is not able to get around that corner. Culberson was there to string him along and bring him down around the knees. Got a couple of yards on that, but when you can keep a guy like Dorsey from being able to turn that corner, that's a pretty effective play.
And we're sitting here from this angle looking at it, which is a perfect angle. I don't ever want to do a game from here again, may I say this. But when
that is the end of the 3rd period.
Take a look at it, it looked like Dorsey had a hole. He didn't.
We've come to the end of 3 quarters. Florida trying to stay unbeaten. Las Vegas giving them all they want. It's 17-17, a quarter of action still to go.
Telecast is authorized by the United Football League. Any rebroadcast or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the UFL is prohibited.
Back here at Tropicana Field, beautiful night in Florida, an exciting game inside. Florida 17-17 tied with Las Vegas. We're glad that you could be with us here for the UFL on HDNet. Some of the Blues Brothers are, or maybe they dress that way all the time. I don't know. It is close to Halloween.
The Blues Brother.
Come on, the other one went to get a hot dog. Kenny Rice, Paul McGuire on the sideline, Ron Kruk and Natalie Taylor. And going to work, Las Vegas. On 2nd and 8, play action. Lossman looking, and he'll go to the short man. That is Barthel, the fullback, getting his first catch of the night and getting the first down.
I can tell you right now, Jim Fossil is on the sideline saying, thank you. This is what he has wanted this young man to do for a long time. Watch this. Lossman is looking. He wants to throw this thing so bad downfield. But then he looks to the outside, and there's Barthel. He's open, he breaks a tackle, and then picks up the first down.
And Barthel, who basically is in there, 6 foot, 240 out of UMass for his blocking, hauls in an important catch, keeps everything going on 1st and 10 at the 45, and now Dorsey tries to get out around the right side, and Odell Thurman is there to bring him down.
I just can't tell you how good a throw that last throw was. And it was like a 3-yard throw. And Barthel ends up picking up the first down because all he did was break one tackle. And that's the thing. I know we've been harping on it all night long, but that's the one thing that Lossman has to do. Just calm down. There is going to be somebody open.
And that's what he said. You know, I mean, life's been pretty good for him. He was a #3 prep quarterback in the country when he came out of Venice, California, went to Tulane, made some All-American teams, high draft pick with the Bills. And he said he's learned a whole lot just in the last 6 months or so here, and especially being with this team, and that's who he wanted to be with, as he completes that pass to Tab Perry and picks up 5 more. And he was telling us, you know, and we talked about this earlier, I came specifically to the UFL because I know Jim Fossil's background. I know about Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler and John Elway and Kerry Collins' revival the year he got to the Super Bowl. So, you know, he wanted to have a quarterback clinic, and he's been getting one in these last few months.
And this is really, for him, it's a learning process for Lossman. He said, I'm going to learn from who I think is the best, and that's that man right there.
And here it is, a big 3rd and 4, 12:50 to go in the 4th quarter. Lossman under pressure, steps up, goes down, and they finally get to him tonight. Charles Rotten, or rather Darian Scott, is the man who gets that sack.
Boy, this was not Lossman's fault. I mean, Lossman just steps up and he gets nailed. He has no place to go, no place to throw the ball away to. And it was just, you know, the defensive line. You know, when you get that kind of pressure, that's not your fault.
And a rare moment tonight, unlike the first time around, Florida able to get in and bring down Lossman, and Bauer will punt. And that's Andrews again, and he is brought down for no gain after that 39-yard punt. The season.
G.I. Joe, own it on DVD and Blu-ray this Tuesday.
12:01 to go here in the 4th quarter. This is shaping up to be the best game of the season so far in the UFL, as Florida goes on the attack from their own 14, tied at 17 with Vegas. Bollinger back, dumps it over the middle, complete to Tatum Bell, picks up about 7 on the play. And Young in there on the tackle, Trey Young.
I'll tell you, if they get one-on-one coverage on the outside again on Tate Biddle, Bollinger's going.
You look at Gruden, we heard from him, the offensive coordinator, Jay Gruden, earlier. Here it is, 2nd and 6. They'll go on the ground with Tatum Bell again. And Bell has certainly been a workhorse today after sitting out last week with that turf toe as Florida beat California. And he has 16 carries for 63 yards tonight. It is 3rd and 3.
But I'll tell you what, Jim Fossil really, and I know both defenses played well, but he really has to be proud of this defense of his from Las Vegas, because they made some outstanding adjustments.
Warren is back in the game. He was in motion. Bollinger stepping up. Bollinger running for the sideline and the marker, and he is successful with both and picking up the first down.
I heard someone on the sidelines yelling at Bollinger, dive, dive, dive. Are you crazy? I'm not diving. Look at Bollinger. He's looking downfield. Now he knows. He's looking for the sideline. He knows where the first down marker is, and he gets there. Somebody yelling, dive, dive.
Bollinger's too smart for that. He's a heck of an athlete, born in North Dakota because his father, Rob, was the offensive coordinator at the University of North Dakota. Paul, he was so good as an athlete, the Dodgers drafted him when he was a junior at Wisconsin, even though he hadn't played baseball in 3 years. And now he goes over the middle and is complete to Biddle. And just like the good shortstop he used to be and good quarterback that he is now, he zinged that thing and picks up the first down.
What I don't understand is how does Biddle get that wide open? Tay Biddle is going down the middle. Look at Bollinger. He sees the rush. He lets it go. But look at how wide open Biddle is. I mean, there are a bunch of white shirts around him, but they're not even close to this guy.
21 yards on that to Biddle. Biddle 4 catches, 58 yards on the night. And Bollinger ever so smooth in this drive so far. 1st and 10 out to the 42. Bollinger rolling, throwing to the sideline. And he has his man, Marcus Maxwell, who's caught 2 touchdown passes tonight.
Well, now you're looking, it's like surgery now. I mean, Bollinger is just, I mean, Maxwell, you see him at the top of your screen. He's going to come back to the outside. He's coming back to the ball, and the ball is thrown perfectly. There's just really no chance for the defensive back to get to it.
Picks up 11. Moves the ball down to the 41. That's the first time Maxwell's caught a pass tonight that wasn't a touchdown. Bollinger, play fake, firing far sideline, wide open Maxwell. Maxwell trying to hang on, 2 guys, 3 and 4, and they finally bring him down at the 20.
Well, in all fairness to Las Vegas is defense. Okay, Dada, their best tackler and corner, is out. Summerall is out, number 23. But just take a look at Maxwell. Top of your screen. He goes back to the outside, and the play action freezes the safeties in the middle of the field, and then Maxwell's wide open on the outside.
22 yards on that, 1st and 10, ball at the 19. We'll see if Bollinger can continue to perform surgery. He throws over the head for Colbert, and a flag is thrown on the coverage. That was Dada back in the game, and it was intended for Colbert. Colbert was step for step with Wally Dada.
I mean, if they were right, if Ron was right, Dada.
Pass interference defense. Number 24, the foul occurred in the end zone. The ball be placed on the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
And I was told that, and Ron was told that he had a pulled groin, and if he's playing with a pulled groin, I mean, this first of all, is pretty good coverage by Dada. But you cannot climb up the guy's back. And, I like the fact that, people say, when you look at home, say, sometimes, is it not catchable? Let me tell you what, as fast as these guys are, and they cannot run a ball, I don't know when a ball is uncatchable.
Bell in on 1st and goal at the 1. Bell right side. Touchdown. Tatum Bell puts Florida back in front. Great drive by Bollinger, big penalty on the pass interference, and Tatum Bell tops it off, bursting through for the score over the right side.
Vaughn, Matua, and Heinrich on that right side, the tight end Heinrich, they just got excellent blocks.
And now Bryant trying to keep it a 7-point lead for Florida. And just inside the left upright. Nice job by Sauerbrunn in handling that snap. Bryant puts it through. Fossil still upset about that pass interference. It resulted in a Tatum Bell 1-yard score and puts Florida back in front with 8:08 to go.
You wonder what Fossil was mad about. Take a look at, here is a guard, tackle, tight end. And this tackle is uncovered. That's one. He's uncovered. Wilson's inside of him. Excuse me, that's Wilson. And just take a look at it. And I think if he did report, then that's okay. But if he didn't report, I don't know if, Fossil knew that he reported or not. But that's what actually happened. And I think that's what he was upset about, the unbalanced line.
Bryant will kick. Tab Perry standing back for Las Vegas. 8:08 to go here in the fourth quarter. Florida trying to stay unbeaten, leading at 24-17. Does Vegas have an answer? Kick short. Bergen, the tight end, will bring it across the 25 to around the 26.
Well, you're looking at the second time that they kicked the ball short. They were not going to kick it to Scobie. So Matt Bryant, he just popped the ball up in the air down around the 25-yard line, 20-yard line, and let the tight end catch it.
Talk about some special teams tonight. We've seen some good kick returns by Willie Andrews. He was the man in on the tackle.
And he was not. They were not going to allow Scobie to start doing that stuff.
So J.P. Lossman now tries to answer. 1st and 10. Vegas starts this drive at their own 28. And Lossman looking to go to the air under pressure, and he dumps it off incomplete. And again, maybe something he wouldn't have done, he will admit, a month ago or so, trying to keep his composure, not get too happy with the feet, and make the play.
All right, you watch him. Now watch his feet. He's in the pocket. He's jumping around. Now he knows he has no place to go. He goes back outside. He sees the blue shirts and says, okay, let me get rid of this thing. That's a smart play. He's learning. Don't take a hit if you don't have to.
Interesting, isn't it, for a guy who played 5+ years in the NFL to talk about his learning experience here.
Yes.
As Lossman's been free to talk about. He will keep it on the ground this time, and that's Dorsey. Dorsey fighting off Andrews. Dorsey going up the sideline. Dorsey, one man to beat. Dorsey going down at the 2. What a run by Dorsey. Run down by Jerome Carter. Whoa!
I said in the first half, I love watching this guy run because you better put him on the ground. He's got great feet and great balance. Take a look at Dorsey going to the outside. He gets some outstanding blocking right at the line of scrimmage. But you know the guy that missed the tackle was McGargle? And take a look at this. Dorsey down the sideline. Now he can't outrun the corner, which is Jerome Carter. But the thing about Dorsey is his great feet and his great balance.
71 yards. 1st and goal at the 2. Ship comes in. Lossman rolls, throws, touchdown. Beautiful disguise by Lossman, and he hit a wide open John Madsen, the backup tight end from the University of Utah.
Boy, this is just a beautifully designed play. Great fake by Lossman, and just look at Madsen just sits down in the end zone. He's wide open, he sits down, and the ball is perfect.
And Las Vegas has their answer. And Gano with the extra point to tie it. 24-24, 6:57 to go. The two best teams exchanging punches. No one's knocked out just yet. We have had a season's worth of big plays in one game. Dorsey tearing off a beautiful 71-yard run to set up a touchdown just a few minutes ago. We're tied at 24. Florida now waiting to come back on the attack. Willie Andrews awaiting the kick of Gano.
It took him 1 minute and 10 seconds to score.
And that's been one of the long scoring drives tonight. Andrews will take it on the move at his 3 up to the 10-15. Cuts back at the 21, and he is sliced down right there, and Riley makes the tackle. Let's go to Ron.
Okay, Kenny, D.D. Dorsey, a 71-yard rush. Tell us how that play developed.
O-line made a big hole. I just ran. I need to obviously work on my speed next week. Got to get in the end zone on that one.
Pretty hard on yourself. You got enough gas left in the tank for another 6 minutes?
Yeah, we got to finish this game out. It's a dogfight. We knew it was going to be a fight, so we got to finish this out.
All right, thanks, D.D. Kenny, Paul, back upstairs.
Don't you love him? I just ran. They opened the hole. I just ran.
And credit to Jerome Carter, one of the few guys able to run him down, and the only one on that play. On 1st and 10, Bell goes over the right side.
You know, we heard Jim Haslett talking to his defense at the halftime, and he said, just do your job and do what you have to do. Turn him being Dorsey, turn him back inside where he can't get outside. Well, that time on that touchdown, they allowed him to get outside, and he took advantage of it.
2nd and 7. Can Bollinger and the Tuskers answer it once again? Good protection. Bollinger over the middle at the 50 has his man. It's Foster down inside the 25-yard line. Jason Foster making a huge reception. 53 yards on the play.
Boy, you talk about the perfect route. Watch Foster run this route. The perfect route. That's Tony Parrish trying to stay with him. He can't. He's a safety. And then Foster back to the inside. But where the ball was thrown, it was right on target. Foster did not have to break stride.
A look at Jason Foster. 3 catches for 92 yards tonight alone.
I don't think we have enough time to show the highlight reel of this game. Just the big plays.
We'll show it in sections. On 1st and 10, they will go on the ground again with Tatum Bell. Bell's having his best individual night, going over 70 yards. Of course, all pales in comparison to Dorsey for Vegas, 139 yards rushing tonight.
You know, don't you love it when Ronnie introduces or talks to Dorsey, and he's talked to him twice. He said, well, they opened a hole and I just run. And they opened another hole and I just ran.
I will say this, D.D. Dorsey, in addition to showing his blazing speed, is hands down the understated award winner of this UFL season. 2nd and 9. Deep drop. Bollinger go over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Bell, and Lehman on the coverage.
Boy, Lehman, you talk about linebackers playing the spot that they're supposed to play. Lehman was very patient. Bell's coming out of the backfield. Look at Lehman, 54. He's got Bell. The ball is thrown, and he knocks the ball down. That's how to play middle linebacker, folks.
3rd and 9. At the 23 of Las Vegas. We'll see if they can capitalize on that big pass play. Pittman is in the backfield. And there's a whistle.
Timeout.
And a timeout.
Florida.
Florida will take the timeout. Do they have another score to go? 4:48 and we're tied. Tied at 24. And Florida is on the move, trying to remain undefeated in the United Football League. This has been everything and more in the matchup of the top 2 teams, the top 2 quarterbacks, and they have gone pretty much blow for blow. After a little rough start, it's been a series of big plays from the 2nd quarter on. Brooks Bollinger bringing his team up with Pittman in the backfield on 3rd and 9 at the 22. Biddle and Maxwell in at receivers. Bollinger has it knocked down once again. The 3rd time tonight that he's had a pass batted down.
And again, this is all penetration by the defensive linemen. They're pushing the offensive lineman back into the backfield. And when you have that much push, and the guy that did was Stills, Gary Stills, is a linebacker, he just jumped up and timed it perfectly. And that, again, is the 3rd time for Bollinger that the ball was batted back into his face.
Matt Bryant now attempting a 40-yarder. He kicked a 31-yarder earlier. The kick is up. It's got room, and it's there, and Florida is back in front. 27-24 on the 2nd field goal of the night for Matt Bryant.
Okay, Vegas, your turn.
Jim Fossil, what's up your sleeve now as you get ready to send Lossman and company back? There's a good look at Brooks Bollinger. Something rare. And Bryant, you see Bryant, of course, a legend here in this Tampa Bay area with that 62-yarder against the Eagles. about 3 years ago.
You know, the nice thing about this game, too, you know, there's almost 800 yards of offense in this game. I mean, you know, you'd say, well, the defenses aren't playing well. The defenses are playing well in the red zones. And that's where, you know, where usually they break down. But they've been playing well. It's in the middle of the field. The big plays have been sensational tonight.
And we've had 3 touchdowns on one play. One big play. Bang, it's happened, and there's been a score. 2 for Vegas, 1 for Florida in this game.
Well, the way this Vegas team is, they keep coming back. I wouldn't just be satisfied with a 3-point lead.
Tab Perry is standing back, awaiting the kick of Bryant. Perry this time gets across the 25 to around the 27. Odell Thurman in there. Andrews comes over. And that is where J.P. Lossman and the Locos go to work with 4:34 to go in the fourth quarter, down by 3.
That's the second tackle on the kickoff by Odell Thurman, who's a defensive linebacker, starting defensive linebacker. Also, Culberson, number 54, he's on that team. So you really don't see that much in the NFL where your starting linebackers are on the kickoff team.
1st and 10 from their 27. Lossman throws, caught by Kirkus. Former star from Grand Valley State, where they won a Division II championship with the Lions for a couple of seasons.
Boy, here's the situation, too. Now, Las Vegas, you still have 2 timeouts. You're getting to the 4-minute warning. There's no time to panic here. You just take your time, relax, and just take what they give you. And they're always going to give you something.
2nd and 5 out to the 32. They'll keep it on the ground, going over on the right side. And that's Marcel Shipp, who was the 3rd leading rusher in the league coming into tonight. That is his 8th carry on the evening. This has been a night at the backfield that's belonged to D.D. Dorsey.
D.D. Dorsey is now back in the ball game.
On 3rd and 5. .320 to go, fourth quarter. Ball at about the 32. Lossman protection, stepping up, throwing off the hands of Kirkus, incomplete.
Oh, man, he had Kirkus. He had him coming across the middle, and Kirkus was open. He just threw the ball behind him. And again, I don't know, you're going to see Kirkus here. But watch Kirkus. He's going to make the break. Look at, he is open in the middle. The ball is behind. He gets 2 hands on it. You say, well, yeah, you're supposed to catch the ball. But did Lossman set? He's not happy. I don't think he's happy with himself. It's not Kirkus he's upset with because he just didn't take his time to throw it.
So on 4th and 5, Vegas kicks away. Bauer. And Andrews is back at the 25, up to around the 29. 44 yards on that kick, about 4 on the return for Andrews. And with 2:55 to go in the fourth quarter, Florida trying to hold on to this lead and stay undefeated in the UFL. As you look at Brooks Bollinger, some would consider him at this moment the most valuable player in the UFL, and he's put up some big numbers tonight after a shaky start. The only shaky start he's had, and that was when he threw an interception, and then he's bounced back and played great the rest of the way.
Well, he's thrown for over 300 yards in this ball game, but you know, the thing about Bollinger here is you've got to take a look, and Gruden also take a look. Are they going to bring up 8 in the box? And that's what they're doing. They're bringing up 8 in the box, and they can only blitz 5.
Bollinger out to Tay Biddle. Biddle shakes off a man, picks up a first down, and picks up a nice gain down the sideline for Tay Biddle. Coming in here is their top receiver tonight.
I couldn't get a chance to finish this thing because they threw the ball so fast. But this is what happens. When you put 8 in the box, you got man-to-man on the outside on a guy like Tate Biddle. And you better also tackle him. Just take a look at Biddle. All you have to do is break one tackle. Once you break that tackle, now you got free sledding down the sideline. This is really difficult. You're putting Las Vegas in a terrible situation because they have to play run first. Like that.
1st and 10, Bell. And more there to meet him. We get back to Tate Biddle. What a move he put over on Joe Porter.
Las Vegas.
A guy who had been step for step with him. Remember earlier when they threw down the sideline 2 of the former collegiate track stars. That's a lot of quickness out there.
It is, and it's a little bit easier staying with a guy that's going to run deep, and he just, without running a move. That time, Tate Biddle, it was a short pass to the outside, and Porter knew that he was the only guy out there. The safeties were committed inside for the running game, so he had to make sure I make the tackle. What he did do was slow Biddle down a little bit. Not enough. He picked up the 1st down. Now, Las Vegas takes their 2nd timeout. There's 2:41. They got one at the 2-minute. But the question is now, you're looking at 2nd and 14. You know, I actually took the yardage off the scoreboard. I said I wouldn't do that again, but it is 2nd.
It actually is 2nd and 14, and the ball is right around the 40, right on the 40.
Well, 3 hours later, they got it right, but, you know, you just don't do anything stupid here offensively.
Florida the lead. They have the ball. Bollinger under center, 2nd and now he'll step back, and Florida will take a timeout.
Timeout, Florida. 2nd charge.
They have 1 to go.
Well, here's the thing. Bollinger goes up to the line of scrimmage. They got a play call, and you look at the personnel that he has on the field. He looks at the play that's called, and Whitty can audible too.
Correction, that's Florida's 1st charge timeout.
Their first, well, they said it's their 1st charge down there. All right, you look at the defense and you look at, okay, what do I have here? What can I audibilize to? Here's Bollinger over the ball. He's looking around. He said, wait a minute, whoa. I got a problem here. I got the wrong play called against this defense, and I don't have the right personnel to get out of it. You say, well, can't you get out of anything? No, you can't. There's a package for so many people. He's in a package. He's got to make the right call. So he does the right thing. Timeout.
Look at Jay Gruden. Great career he had in the arena football. 6 championships as a quarterback and as coach. The offensive coordinator from a very deep football family. I think if your last name's Gruden, you have to be a football coach.
And you better be tough.
2nd and 14. Bollinger. Fake, and then fakes a reverse, and now we'll swing it out for Foster. Foster at the 40 spins, and a nice job of staying with Foster on that play by Jamal Lewis, the strong safety out of Georgia Tech, hanging right in there with the speedy and elusive Jason Foster after a pickup of only 2.
Las Vegas.
Well, this wasn't where he was really going to go with the ball. You see Foster come around. He's looking downfield, Bollinger is, but he knows he has an outlet in Foster. All he has to do is break 1 tackle, hoping that didn't happen because Jamal Lewis, number 34, makes the play. Now,
Vegas uses their last one.
That's it, but they had the 2-minute warning. There's 2:33. The scoreboard, again, is wrong. It is 3rd down, and they have 2nd, but it's 3rd down and 12.
So if they hold now, it brings up 4th down with 33 seconds to go before we get to the 2-minute warning.
Well, here's the question. Do you run a really safe play? You got 12 yards to go. But the most important thing is if you're gonna throw the ball, make sure that your guy stays in bounds and they don't run out of bounds and stop the clock, because they can run the clock down to the 2-minute warning.
On 3rd and 12 from their 42, here comes Florida. Michael Pittman in the backfield once again. Bollinger. Drop protection, throwing, hits his tight end Heinrich. And he's brought down by Teddy Lehman. Inbounds, the clock ticking away, and on 4th and 10, Sauerbrunn, who has had a terrible punting day, will come on.
Well, you can see Bollinger looking around, and he sees his tight end. That is the safest throw because he's got the tight end on Lehman, who is the linebacker.
And it's ticking down now to the 2-minute warning, and that's where it will be. Sauerbrunn will be kicking when we come back. Florida with the lead. Vegas about to get the ball. 2 minutes to go. Two minutes to go in the game. Florida getting ready to punt it away to Las Vegas. The Tuskers here at home leading it by 3. Tom Sauerbrunn has had a tough night, a punt of 11 yards his last time. He's kicked 5 for a 33 average, and the speedy Sammy Parker is standing back. And a good punt there. Takes it at his 13, gets across the 20 to around the 21, and he is slammed. Sauerbrunn's got to feel a little better about that. A 42-yard punt. And Chikora makes the tackle. Chikora has 2 sacks on the year. Both those came in that first game. He looks a little shaken up as well. And
so does Sammy.
There's Sammy going out. And Patrick Chikora, who had those 2 sacks in the first meeting in Las Vegas. 1:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. J.P. Lossman and company coming on the attack from their own 22. Lossman throws it out for his safety valve and overthrows him. That was intended for D.D. Dorsey. Dorsey's had an incredible night.
Well, folks, let us do this now. You want us playing overtime? Because if we get to it, I hate to bring it up before it is overtime, but there is a chance.
Well, it's sort of like this, Paul. Here's the variation from the NFL. Each team, much like in college, will have possession. And if they don't score, then it comes down to the sudden death that we know. And that's the capsule version. We'll elaborate later should we need it. With 1:45 to go here in the fourth. Lossman on second down. Looking, stepping, firing. And he makes the grab, does Kirkus, and he kept both feet in. Nice catch by David Kirkus. 14 and a first down. Okay, they tell me now to elaborate. Possibly anticipating Gano's going to kick a 50-yarder as the time expires. In case, 15-minute period, which is what it is in the NFL. Both teams, though, must possess the ball like it is in college. If they get one possession, if they don't score, then we go to the sudden death that we know. How was that, Paul?
I love it, but I'm going to explain the possession for a second.
1st and 10 at the 36. Lossman under pressure, and he goes down, and Odell Thurman is in there, but there is a flag thrown as well. And Thurman able to put pressure on for the first time. Odell was able to get back to Lossman. Let's see what the flag is.
Personal foul, face mask. 97 defense, 15 yards, spotted foul, automatic, first down.
That's Josh Cooper.
That is big.
That is huge. Number 97, that's Josh Cooper.
Reaching out with his left hand.
You know, you get when you're on a pass rush like that, it is not on purpose that you do something like that. You're reaching out to grab the quarterback any place you can. It just happens to grab him by the face mask.
Ball out to the 45. They swing it out to Dorsey. He picks up about 8 before McCarrigal, haven't called his name in a while, is able to push him out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:27.
Let me explain one thing about possession. They flip the coin at the.
Oh, you're ready to go to overtime, aren't you?
Overtime. They flip the coin, and the team that can receive the ball, they have the ball. They have a possession. That's theirs. Now, if they score a field goal and they kick off the other team, and something happens on the kickoff, they even fumble the ball, that is considered a possession. You touched it.
2nd and 2 at the 48. First down. Lossman goes to Bergen, the tight end, and picks it up. Gets to the 43-yard line. Gano, you figure, even though he has missed one tonight, is close to automatic inside of 45. Flag on the play. Lossman is running, and he goes down inside the 35.
It's against the defense, and this is it was a free play for Lossman. The defensive end was offside on the left side.
2 defensive penalties. It looks like. We'll wait and see officially, but I think you're right on it, Paul. 2 big defensive penalties.
Offsides, defense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
They declined a penalty because Lossman picked up about 8 yards on the play.
Nice run by Lossman, makes it 2nd and 2 at the 35 of Florida. Under a minute to go in the 4th quarter. Lossman dropped, sacked. Brought down by big number 99, Claude Rotten.
Boy, it almost looked like Rotten had a direct run right at Lossman. Remember now, Lossman, it's now 3rd down. I don't understand why they didn't take the 5-yard penalty and kept another down. But it's 3rd down and long.
No timeouts, 28 seconds to go. It's 3rd and 9 for Lossman. Lossman stepping up, firing, incomplete. 4th down, and almost picked off by Jerome Carter.
I really don't understand not taking the penalty. I mean, what's the difference between 2nd and 8 and 1st and 5? Come on, you take it, you save the down. Now you're looking at 4th down where it would have been 3rd.
This is the game. 20 seconds to go, 4th quarter. Florida trying to stay unbeaten, leading 27-24. Can Jim Haslett's defense do it once more? J.P. Lossman has had a very nice game. But here it is, 4th and 8.
Someone better block Rotten.
Rolls right, good protection. He's throwing deep and overthrowing Kirkus. Lossman going for it all. Vegas coming up short.
You got to go on 4th down. I don't understand the throw. I really don't. Because there's still 13 seconds on the clock. If he just picks up the 1st down.
And you have a kicker in Gano, who from 45 in is very accurate.
Now look, it's not that he really had to throw the ball at that point in time, but you're throwing the ball. I mean, the ball is thrown out of the end zone. You don't set yourself to throw. Of course, we're not standing back there getting rushed by 4 or 5 guys that weigh 300 pounds or more.
And they put the pressure on when it counted, did Florida, and now they'll just take a knee, and they will remain undefeated in the UFL. Big night for Brooks Bollinger once again. Bollinger, 323 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Jim Haslett has a 4-0 team. And now Las Vegas, 1-2. They got a week off. They'll play a 2-2 California team coming up in a couple of weeks here on HDNet in what will be another big game for them.
And a California team that has improved steadily with Denny Green. And these guys will be waiting. Las Vegas, I thought they really had a chance of winning this football game. And Lossman is going to look at some things that he did in the game, but he tried. I mean, they really tried. They had some outstanding plays in this game.
Let's go down to Natalie.
Thanks, Coach. There were some frustrating times, but ultimately it went your way. What were you surprised tonight from your team?
Well, I'm disappointed in the way we played on defense. We didn't tackle well, and we haven't done that all year. That's disappointing, but the offense rose to the occasion in the second half and did a great job. And we got to get back to the drawing board, but it was a good win. That was a great game plan they had. And, they played their butts off, and I give credit to that team. And that's a good football team that we beat today.
Especially the offense, so stepping up when necessary. What players stood out tonight?
Well, the 2 receivers, Maxwell and Biddle. And I thought Brooks did a good job. The line protected well, and those guys, they're good football players, and we just got to do a better job in the back on the other side.
Thank you very much for your time. And guys, as you know, with that win, they have now guaranteed them a spot in that championship game. Kenny.
All right, thanks, Natalie. Maxwell with 4 catches, 2 of those for touchdowns tonight. A night of big plays and gutsy performances down the stretch, and it's Florida winning to stay unbeaten, 27-24 over Vegas. Good night again for Brooks Bollinger and the gang. And we'll be back with some final thoughts as we take one more look at the standings. Florida 4-0. You wonder who can beat them right now. California in second place, 2-2. And we'll wrap it up when we return to St. Petersburg. Back here at Tropicana Field, St. Petersburg, where the home team, Florida Tuskers, remain undefeated in the UFL, 27-24 over Las Vegas. By far their toughest test of the year. For the first time this season, they trailed going in at halftime, and Brooks Bollinger and company responded in a night that featured some huge, big plays, as many as we've seen all season long in the UFL.
Big plays, and the score was down, you know. 27-24. You would think it would be higher scoring, but they were like one-play drives. Yeah. And the defenses on both teams kind of stood their ground when they got into the red zone. But the one thing about this game, you're kind of glad for Las Vegas that they have a bye, because they put everything that they had into this ball game. As Jim Fossil said, we were here on a mission, and their mission was to win this football game. They did almost everything they possibly could to do it. They need a week off.
They played a wonderful game, but as has been the case every week in the UFL, it is Florida coming out on top, and you see the numbers. 321, a great passing night for Bollinger after a rough start. 3 turnovers early, and you look at the plays over 20 yards. Paul, tonight we had 3 plays, 1-play drives, 3 touchdowns.
That's kind of neat. You know, it's a fun game to watch, and it's a fun game to do. But, you know, when it's all said and done, you look at what Bollinger ended up doing, over 321 yards. Yeah. That is a perfect night. I think that J.P. Lossman learned some things. I mean, some very important things in this ball game. And he said this whole year is a learning process for him. He's learning.
They did better against the defense tonight of Florida, but Florida particularly rotten with that sack late. When they needed to step up along the front line, they certainly did on that last drive for Vegas.
Yeah, and that last hit by Rotten, it looked like he had a direct run at him with nobody in front of him. Wow.
Well, Florida certainly tested more than ever before, but they withstand the test, and they remain undefeated. And we thank you for watching us tonight, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks with a big game coming up in the UFL. You've been watching the United Football League on HDNet. Our executive producer and producer of today's game, Daryl Ewalt. Our broadcast directed by Hank Lena. Bo Vonsakun, our feature producer. Chris Markwell, the production coordinator. Graphics by Mike Boyd and Ruben Jimenez. And our engineers, Dan Neighbors, Jeff Carlin, and Andy Miranda. Be sure to tune in Saturday, November 14th. It'll be a battle for second place in San Jose as California hosts Las Vegas. Pre-game coverage, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. For my broadcast partners, Paul McGuire, Ron Kruk, and Natalie Taylor, I'm Kenny Rice. Thanks for watching. Final score, Florida 27-24 over Vegas. You've been watching the UFL on HDNet from St. Petersburg.